Braden Krause, the kickoff guy for Farmington. He'll tee it up for the 40, and he is a touchback guy. Briar Alford, one of the deep men. He stands back there with Elijah Dawson and also Denzel Britton. 3 deep men all in a line back there for Poplar Bluff. And these Mules going to return this thing left to right as Luke and I look at and describe the action to you. Braden Krause sets it on a tee, and we're just about ready to go here at Poplar Bluff. Not a bad crowd. Farmington has traveled pretty well over on the other side. Krause knocks this one through the right toe. He pounds this one high in the sky and back into the end zone. Boy, at the high school level, you'll get touchbacks, but you don't always get touchbacks with them that high in the air. That was a terrific kick. Our starting lineup's brought to you by Culligan Water in Liddington. Culligan, better water, pure and simple. Just call 573-431-3016. Cameron Meisner, the quarterback for this Bluff team. His center, Zach Thomas, Adam Payton, and Stephen Halter, the guards. Tyler Norton, Cole Dickin are the starting tackles. We'll see Denzel Britton, Austin Jefferson, Tristan Francisco as wide receivers. And that running back for this Poplar Bluff crew, B. Wynn. We'll see him more often than not. B. Wynn sets up just to the left side of the quarterback, Meisner. And Poplar Bluff will spread it out with 2 wides to the right side, 1 to the left. And Wynn gets some good blocking to rush the ball out across the 20-yard line right there. But Farmington pursued pretty well, and so it's not a big gain. It's a gain of about 4 yards for B. Wynn.
2 years ago, that night you were talking about, that was a close contest. Farmington ended up losing that game 14-6, and had a chance to win it at the end there. But like I said, both these teams trying to get back into, the SEMO. They've kind of been at the bottom the last couple of years of that SEMO conference. Both of them trying to make a comeback.
All right, we'll meet the Farmington defense coming up. And a 2nd and 7. Meisner keeps it this time, and Meisner is stuffed. I mean, he is stuffed right at the line. And a great play right there by Brendan Ferris. Brendan Ferris, one of the defensive ends. Jacob Cluck, the other one. We'll see Charles Rhodes and Jared Nicholson at that linebacker, or that nose guard position, and Devin Savage and Noah Patterson, the tackles. Scotty McRoberts in the middle of that defensive middle linebacker core. So Gavin Duncan and Ethan Barron on the outside. And then it's Chris Smith and Cameron Haynes, the starting corners. Logan Dodson and Braden Bond are the starting safeties. 3rd and long, long 6 or a short 7. Meisner back to pass, throws it over the middle, and it's picked off. Farmington picks him off. It's Tappan Westbrook, and Westbrook returning it out across the 30 to the 25 down to the 23-yard line. Meisner, who threw for 249 yards against these Knights last year, threw it right to Westbrook, and Westbrook made him pay.
It was, and what a great pick there. And nowhere to go with that football, and Minzer just throws it up for a guy, and what a great play by Westbrook there in Farmington. All right, making a statement.
Here come these Knights. Culligan Water presenting our starting lineups, and it's Brant Busenbark to lead the troops out. He's got Braden Bond just to his left, Twins to the right, and 1 wide receiver off to the left side. Busenbark wants to throw it, and he wants a touchdown, throwing it to the end zone, and this one goes too long for both wide receivers that were out there, Krause and also Logan Dodson. The line looks like this. Charles Rhodes is in the middle. He's the center. Jacob Cluck and James Hamlet are the guards. Devin Savage and Noah Patterson are the tackles. We'll see Tyler Finch, Braden Krause, and Trevor Keith as wide receivers. Ken Pham also in that wide receiving core. And then Braden Bond is the running back here. So the pass incomplete for Busenbark right there. I like it, though. You get the turnover and you go right for it.
Going deep fast.
So Bond will be the single setback. And Busenbark moves up Braden Krause along the line from his wideout position. 2 to the left, 1 to the right side. Bond gets the carry, and he does fall forward, but not very much room for him to run through that time. As Tyler Norton, Jordan Lansford, the starting tackles, Stephen Haley, Michael Kerr are the ends. They're the guys that got to Bond right there on a gain of just 2. The linebackers are Nick Joachim in the middle, Jerron Glass and Chance Moore on the outside, Denzel Britton and Austin Jefferson the corners, and then the safeties are Briar Alford and Tristan Francisco. 3rd and 7. Busenbark rolls to his left. He can throw well on the run, fires it now, and the pass is incomplete. That one hit Finch in the hands, but pretty good coverage out there. I couldn't really see if the defender got his hand up in the ball, Jared Moore, but it was a pretty good pass that time by Busenbark. He certainly gave his wide receiver a chance at that ball. Braden Krause missed 2 field goals last week, but it doesn't look like that's going to deter the Farmington coaches from trusting him and going with his services right here.
Yeah, the kid's got a big-time leg, and like you said, one missed field goal, you're not going to just nix it all on that.
So it's a 38-yarder. Farmington looking for the first lead in this ball game. And Braden Krause on to do the honor. Snap is good. Hold is down. And Krause swings the right leg up and through, and he connects. Farmington leads 3-0. The turnover, and then the field goal afterwards. A 38-yarder for Braden Krause. And we're back with your kickoff after this 1-minute pause right here on Super Talk 800.
West Transportation Service in Bismarck is your local charter bus service. They can take you to your destination wherever you're going. At West Transportation Service, they care about their cargo. So rest assured that when you ride with them, you'll be provided with the best traveling experience ever. West Transportation Service, the best charter bus service around. That's West Transportation Service in Bismarck, a proud supporter of all community events. For service, call 734-2332.
Did you know that Earth Mother Health Foods, LLC, is owned and operated by our family for 24 years here in Farmington? This is Mary Lee. I would like to thank all of our customers for allowing myself and our well-informed staff to help you live a healthier life the natural way. We have expanded to now 4,000 square feet to include V-Tree Originals, custom tie-dye and art by our daughter, Vicki the Artist. That's Earth Mother Health Foods in downtown Farmington.
Braden Krause blasts this kickoff to the back of the end zone, and Farmington leads 3-0. And that's our first big drive of the game from ProCare Automotive and Bonne Terre. Farmington offense didn't go far, Luke, but they got some points.
They sure did. Only 3 plays, but capitalizing with the field position off the turnover, and Krause kicks it in from 38 yards out to make the score 3-0.
You said on the air that you thought it was a good idea to defer and go defense in the first half. You looked pretty smart right there.
Well, I try to.
Here's Meisner back in the gun. He's got B-Win beside him now. He's going to flip it out to the left side, and the pass is complete to Tristan Francisco. That was a quick hitter that time, and Francisco gets out to the 25-yard line. Are they going to mark it right there at the 25? The officials kind of throw it back and forth, and they actually put it on the 28, so a gain of 8 yards that time for Francisco. Meisner, I know he threw the pick in his first pass attempt, but he's got a good lively arm.
Yeah, he sure does, and a mobile guy as well. So really a dual threat for Poplar Bluff.
He's rushed for over 200 yards on the year. He's thrown for over 250. He almost throws it behind the line of scrimmage this time to Francisco, and Farmington blasts him behind the line of scrimmage. That was a one-on-one tackle out there by Chris Smith. Great work by Smith. It's a completed pass, Luke, for a -8. So they gain 8 on the pass and they lose 8 on the pass.
It was, and I tell you what, that was a great pursuit by Smith there. And we talked about the tackling last week from Haynes, from the cornerback position right there. Smith made an equally as impressive play, and you got to like that out of your corners.
Boy, Haynes with 18 tackles last week. Absolutely amazing. And his coverage was superb. So a 3rd and, call it 9.5 or maybe even 10 as Meisner deploys 3 wides to the right side. 1 off to the left. Hands it off to B-Win on this draw. B-Win ducks a couple of tackles, but the third guy hauls him down. And guess who? It's Chris Smith again. And this is some good tackling by these Farmington Knights.
It is, and I tell you what, 2 straight really impressive defensive series, and you got to like what you're seeing out of this Farmington squad right here. They're really going to the first quarter.
Farmington defense looks fired up, but even more so, they're playing responsibility defense. Everybody's playing the right spot. So it brings on the punter for the first time. Now Tristan Francisco's listed as their punter, and indeed that's who gets the snap. He punts it away from Farmington's return man, and it rolls just out across midfield and settles into the 48. So for the second time in a row, Luke, good field position for this Farmington offense.
It sure was, and I'll tell you what, they got to capitalize on this great field position. You don't know how many more of these opportunities you're going to get.
Just a slight little breeze blowing from the south to the north here at Derlin Moore Field. Here comes Farmington's offense. It's Braden Bond, the running back. Trevor Keith is a wide receiver off to the left, along with Tyler Finch. It's Ken Pham in the slot to the right side, and Braden Krause is the man wide to the right side. Busenbark can run from the quarterback spot, and he's got Bond right beside him. Busenbark going to flip it quickly out to Krause. Krause picks up a block from Pham, ducks behind that block, and rushes it out for an 8-yard gain. Quite the variety right there.
Krause, a guy who's getting some time wide receiver. Last week caught the big touchdown pass. Actually went down. We were a little bit nervous. Thought he might have had a concussion or something, but good to see him back in there making some plays for the Knights.
He caught an 80-yard touchdown pass last week. Worked hard in the early going last week to boost himself up to first team. And now here's Braden Bond. And Bond didn't look like he had a whole lot of room to run through, but he manages 5 yards. Good work by Braden Bond. And that's that little body fitting into some tight spaces right there. So a couple of rushes for Braden. And Farmington going to use a little pace right here. See if they can wear out this defense on a hot day. Busenbark has Bond just to his left. Twins to each side. Busenbark flips it out on a hitch route. And threw that one just a little bit behind Finch that time for an incompletion. That was a 1st and 10, so 2nd and 10 upcoming. Line of scrimmage is the 40-yard line of Poplar Bluff. Derek Eves, offensive coordinator, trying to give this Poplar Bluff team some different looks. 1 wide to the right side, 3 to the left this time. Busenbark back to pass, flips it out to the left side. That's Trevor Keith. Picks up a couple of good blocks, breaks a tackle. He's across the 30, down to the 28-yard line. And it's a gain of 12 yards for Trevor Keith, and a great job by his wide receiver teammates of putting in some good blocks for him there.
It sure was, and they really did make that play. And once Keith got a little bit of daylight there, he was able to pick it up for the 1st down.
Busenbark hit him right in the numbers. Wasn't a hard ball to throw, but a good throw nonetheless. Twins to the right, twins to the left side. Bond, the lone step back beside Busenbark. Bond gets it. He cuts back. Not a lot of room to run by Bond right there. And then a flag in there. Middle of the fray as well. Jordan Lansford comes up with the tackle for Poplar Bluff. That flag came in the holding box, but it also came in a spot sometimes where you'll see a face mask. It looks like this one's going against the Knights. Tell you what, though, Luke. Oh, well, it was before the penalty. They were in Krause's field goal range.
Yeah.
With the penalty, not so much anymore. That would have been about a 47-yarder for Krause before that, which he can hit.
Absolutely, and he's got some confidence now after hitting that big 38-yarder.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what.
Now they're going to have to gain some yardage, though. They're going to have a 1st and 20 now. And the line of scrimmage is the 38-yard line. Busenbark puts 1 wide to the left, 3 to the right side. Bond the single setback. They're going to flip it out to the right side, and another pass is dropped. This time it's Braden Krause. So 2 drops so far tonight, and that's happening just too often for this team.
It sure is, and, it really just killing the momentum. And now you got 2nd and long, and it really limits your playbook.
Krause tried to run with the football before he had secured it. Finch wide to the left side, along with Keith there. Pham and Krause off to the right, 2nd and 20. And line of scrimmage is the 38-yard line of Poplar Bluff. Busenbark fires it down the field on a slant route, and he gets it all the way down to the 28. That's a pretty good job to Trevor Keith, and that'll pick up half the yardage they needed, Luke.
Sure did, and like you said, you don't have to get it all at once, but picking up a nice little chunk there and making it little manageable 3rd down.
So a 3rd and 10, and now you're back in Krause's field goal range as well. So Busenbark puts 2 wides to each side, 3rd and 10. He's looking to go down the field here, and he hit his man right in the hands. It's another drop by the wide receiving core. This time it's Ken Pham. And Busenbark is throwing some good. In fact, he's just throwing them off his wide receivers right now.
Sure is. That one maybe a little bit more contested by the defensive back, but like you said, still hit him in the hands.
Got to catch some of those. But you got to help your quarterback out. And they're going to say here this is a little bit too long, apparently, for Krause. They're going to go for it on 4th and 10. The entirety of this game has been played in the Poplar Bluff half. Busenbark back to pass. Looking for a slot position. He's got a guy wide open over the middle of the field. And it is down inside of the 5-yard line, but not quite a touchdown for Tyler Finch. It looked like he was going to go in uncontested all the way down to the 1-yard line. Right there, a gain of 27 yards. He was wide open.
Boy, he does. The biggest thing was just to make the catch being wide open, dropping in behind the safety there. Boy, Busenbark just laid it in there for him.
Boy, he did, and now they're knocking on the door, and Busenbark going to go behind his running back, Bond, and he's in for the score. So Busenbark with a big pickup down to the 1-yard line, and then calls his own number for the touchdown. It's a 1-yard touchdown run by Brant Busenbark, and Farmington leads 9-0 with 6:01 remaining in the first quarter. Well, how about this?
Well,
huh?
we saw some good and some not so good things on that drive, but I tell you what, they picked it up whenever it counted, and
to overcome 2 drop balls is pretty good.
Absolutely.
Now, there was a coverage that was blown by Poplar Bluff. That helped, but Farmington still read it right and completed the ball to the right spot. And now there's an injury by a Poplar Bluff player. So we're going to take a quick timeout. 6:01 remaining in the first quarter. A 9-0 lead for Farmington. And we're back in a minute right here on Super Talk 800 KREI.
When you have a concrete job, Polite Ready Mix is the name to remember. Polite Ready Mix has been in business for 3 decades, and they're locally owned and operated, with 8 locations servicing Washington, Iron, St. Francis, and now Reynolds and Carter counties. And in addition to their already great service, Polite Ready Mix offers several trucks and a concrete conveyor. Contact the Polite Ready Mix nearest you for a no-obligation estimate today. That's Polite Ready Mix.
Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy wants to be your healthcare partner. Hi, this is Debbie Hamby, Business Manager for Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy. Not only will you receive award-winning customer service, free delivery, and medication synchronization options, we also offer immunization services and free monthly diabetes education classes. In-store nurses offer free blood pressure and blood sugar checks. There are so many reasons to partner with your locally owned Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy in Deloge, Fredericktown, and Ironton. At Parkland Health Mart, we are caring for you and about you.
The Poplar Bluff Mule makes his way off the field after the injury, and Braden Krause comes in to tag on the extra point. Farmington leads 10-0 on the road against 2-0 Poplar Bluff. 6:01 remaining here in this first quarter. And Luke Mel, Farmington using 2 short fields to convert 2 scores. This time it's for a touchdown. And, well, let's hear about that ProCare Automotive touchdown drive. ProCare Automotive in Bonne Terre.
Well, the Farmington Knights start off on their 48-yard line. Like you said, getting some great field position after another great defensive stand. Takes it 9 plays, and I tell you, one big one was Busenbark to Finch over the middle, almost to the goal line, and Finch got it down there, and Busenbark called his own number for a 1-yard touchdown run.
That's pretty efficient. Busenbark has 1 carry for 1 yard and 1 touchdown. A simple but effective line. Let's thank some of our sponsors now. AAA Check Advance in Farmington and Crystal City, St. Joseph Catholic Church in Farmington, and Arch Air Medical Services. Also, ProCare Automotive in Bonne Terre and Earth Mother Health Foods. Thanks so much for joining us tonight on AM 800 KREI, online at MyMoInfo.com. And if you're watching our ball game, it's KREI Web TV at MyMoInfo.com. Jack Sadler operating our camera for us tonight. Always does a great job for us there. 6:01 on this first quarter clock, and these Farmington Knights lead 10-0. A lot of football left, but a good feeling right now anyway.
It sure is, and like you said, a lot of football left, but this first quarter, the first half of this first quarter right now, it's the best we've seen Farmington look in probably the last 2 years.
2 years, yeah, you're right. Braden Krause has kicked off twice, and twice he's blasted it into the end zone. I guess that was a good choice not to kick the field goal and go for it on 4th down, huh?
Absolutely.
So Krause approaches, swings the right leg. This one is high and deep, and it drives Elijah Johnson into the back of the end zone. Krause hops this one all the way onto the track and across the track. His right leg is feeling good tonight. So it'll be the 3rd try here for the offense of Poplar Bluff. 0 for 2 so far. First 2 drives for Poplar Bluff ending in an interception and a punt. And both times gave Farmington good field position.
Well, Farmington definitely doesn't want to let up now. They got some confidence. You're feeling good, and I'd say keep bringing the hammer on them.
Well, Luke, we talked about having rain in the forecast. More on that coming up as this give is to B. Wynn. He's trying to get to the corner, and he's forced out of bounds just past that 20-yard line at the 23. And good pursuit by that Farmington defense right there on a gain of 3 for B. Wynn. We have lightning delays on our 2 other stations, so we're on regional radio right now. And for Farmington fans that are listening across our stations, well, the Knights lead 10-0, and we're just under 6 minutes remaining in this first quarter of play. Farmington converted a interception into a field goal and a punt into a touchdown later on. And now here's a jet sweep. They hand it off to Briar Alford, and Alford is tagged in the backfield. Now there's a flag on the play. For the Farmington defense, caught up with him right near the line of scrimmage. And let's see what the call is. It's holding against Poplar Bluff.
So Farmington doing a great job right now, forcing these Poplar Bluff ball carriers to run towards the sidelines, not giving them that chance to turn it upfield, and playing some solid defense right now.
You know, in talking with the players and the coaches during the Farmington football camp, they said we're really trying to develop a pack mentality, and that's what we see is that there are no alleys to run through because everybody's hustling toward the ball carrier. Now the penalty will scoop Poplar Bluff back, and it'll bring up now a 2nd and 14 for the Mules. So let's see if Farmington can utilize this penalty and snuff out this Poplar Bluff defense or offense once again. Ross Russian wide to the right side, 3 over to the right side as Meisner is under pressure, steps up in the pocket, and he throws it into the middle of the field. He had a guy a little bit deeper. That was Russian that was open, but he would have had to make a spectacular throw to get it there. And the Farmington front four doing a nice job getting pressure that time.
He sure was. And like I said, had a man open down the sideline, but he would have had to make about a 35, 40-yard throw on the run to even get it there. And like I said, 2 good plays here for the Farmington defense.
Let's see if they can get number 3 and get that football back. 5:45 remaining in our first quarter. A 10-0 lead for these Knights. 3 wides to the right, 1 to the left side. B-Win the single step back. And Meisner gets the snap as he's back in the gun. Meisner looking for somewhere to go. Now he's rushed, breaks the pocket once again. Farmington trying to chase him down, but he's outrunning all the defenders right here. Breaks the tackle. He's out across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And on a 3rd and 14, Cameron Meisner runs for 18 yards.
It was a heck of a play by Meisner there, and I tell you what, it looked like Farmington might have had him wrapped up in the pocket there. Just couldn't get a hold of him, and that's something you can't let happen because you don't want to give these kids too many chances.
I thought that he might tuck it and run on that last play, on that second down play, instead of trying to throw it. He might do that more often now. Twins to the right, twins to the left side. B-Win, the single step back in the backfield. He has 3 carries for 10 yards. Poplar Bluff utilizes that jet sweep once again to Tristan Francisco. And Francisco comes around that right corner to about the 45-yard line. Good gain on first down there for Poplar Bluff. Looks like a gain of 6 for these Mules. A flag on the play, though. And another hold against Poplar Bluff.
Yeah, a lot of times on those jet sweeps, you'll get those lead blockers that go out there. You know, it's not as easy to block on the open field as it does those linemen up front. So you see a lot more holding out there.
You know, we talked about the fact that this is a defensive end and offensive front that doesn't have Farmington outsized, and they're having a little bit of a hard time keeping Farmington out of the backfield. So scoot them back 10 yards, and it's a 1st and 20 coming up for Poplar Bluff. Ball on the 27-yard line. 2 wides to each side. B-Win the single step back. Meisner's back in the gun, and Meisner wants to throw it. He's under heavy pressure once again. He is sacked and taken down right here. 3 Farmington Knights meet at the quarterback, and that was Braden Bond getting back there.
From the safety position, I tell you what, talked about that pack mentality for Farmington defense right there. 4 guys got in on that sack. I don't know how many ways you could divide a sack, but everybody should get a little bit of credit there.
Braden Bond, Jacob Cluck, and Scotty Roberts all meeting at the quarterback right there. It's a loss of 4 yards for Meisner, and it brings up a 2nd and 24. Now just don't give away the bank if you're the Farmington defense. Meisner flips it out to Francisco in a little bit of a lateral throw, and Francisco gets a few yards, but good sure-handed tackling once again by that Farmington defense. Logan Dotson brings him down after a 6-yard gain.
Well, that's a play you see Farmington run sometimes too. It's a tough play to capitalize on because you start off so far in the backfield that's swinging it out there to a tight end, a wide receiver, a running back, and it looks like they got a few more yards than they actually really got. You know?
So a 3rd and 16 now, and another very good opportunity for this Farmington defense. Last time we saw a 3rd down, Meisner ran for 18 yards. See if Farmington can keep him from doing that this time, and they can't, as Meisner plows his way right. He didn't even pretend to throw it that time, Luke. He just rushed it forward for 17 yards. That was just a straight run by Meisner.
It sure was. There was no secret about it. Got just enough for the first down. And 2 third downs in a row. The Farmington defense lets Meisner get away from him.
My goodness. Run Meisner every time, huh? Meisner had a couple of rushing TDs last year against the Knights. He's had 29 carries for 212 yards so far this year. That's 7.3 per rush, and that's tremendous for a quarterback. Meisner hands it off to B-Win this time, and the play never did get started with a flag on the play. Officials gather near the line of scrimmage, and it's a false start against Poplar Bluff. Poplar Bluff has had their best offense after they've been penalized.
They say they've been shooting themselves in the foot here and putting themselves in some long yardage, some long down and distance, but hasn't hurt them too much so far.
So some penalties against Poplar Bluff. It's their third. An interception thrown as well, and they're somehow managing to keep this drive alive. It's a 1st and 15 for Poplar Bluff. They've got the football thrown 44. And the best offense for Poplar Bluff has been the quarterback tucking and running. 3 wides to the right side for Meisner, 1 off to the left. B-Win is the single setback, and Meisner flips it over to the left side, and a terrific play out of the cornerback for Farmington right there. Trying to figure out who that was. Logan Dodson, maybe? Cameron Haynes? That was a great tackle. Pass complete to Briar Alford. And they actually lost a yard on that, Luke. That was a terrific play.
That was a great play there. Like you said, coming up out of the quarterback position, another solid play, another solid tackle.
I think that was Cameron Haynes, who had a spectacular game last week. And now, once again, Meisner's in trouble. He's scrambling, and he's throwing it out and completes it to Francisco. He needed 16 yards, and he picks up 20. There's a flag in the backfield. But this Meisner kid is trouble on 3rd down for the Knights.
He did, and if the play stands, that was a heck of a play. It looks like it is holding, though, against Poplar Bluff. That may have been what bought him a little bit of that time back there.
Yeah, maybe so. Boy, they've been terrific on 3rd and long. And another holding penalty. This will set him back. It's going to be about 2nd and 26 coming up as they march this off. At some point, we've got to stop him on 2nd and 26, don't we? Maybe.
This is where Meisner's done his best work.
I know. The further back you set him, the more effective he's been. My gosh. It's almost Sykeston for a 1st down right there. Meisner back to pass, and he throws it out there. This one sails over the head of his intended target, Briar Alford. And nice job by Tappan Westbrook to be in good position there on the coverage. Meisner got rid of that thing just a little bit quick, and he's been effective when he's broken the pocket and run. But I think the fact that Farmington is at least getting to him, maybe made him throw the ball a little bit early that time.
He sure has, and we know he can be an effective thrower, but tonight I think Farmington has gotten after him and kind of disrupted that a little bit.
All right, if they can keep Poplar Bluff from getting 30 yards on this play, Farmington will get the ball back. It's a 3rd and 28, and now we come to our first water break of the game. So we'll step aside. 2:21 remaining in the first quarter. Farmington leads 10-0, and it's going to be a 3rd and 28 for Poplar Bluff when we come back in a minute on KREI and Regional Radio.
Hi, neighbor. Hey, I noticed the new landscaping around your yard. Looks pretty nice.
Thanks, we're doing some home improvements. And we did it all with Potosi Lumber.
Really?
We replaced cabinets, added new carpets, put in storm doors, customized replacement windows, and a lot more.
It's time for fall home improvements. See Potosi Lumber, Highway 21 in Potosi.
Confidence, that's what you'll get with the energy savings agreement from the heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration experts at Grand Oaks. Their highly trained technicians will give your system a thorough inspection each season, all for one low price. Plus, their ESA customers get special discounts and preferred service appointments all year long. For more information, learn about their energy savings agreement, or to schedule an appointment, call 431-3434 and find out if you qualify for special rebates from your utility company. Grand Oaks Heating, AC, and Refrigeration, taking the time to do it right.
Meisner throws it over the middle on a 3rd and 28, Luke, and Farmington once again cannot stop Poplar Bluff on a 3rd and long. It's going to be a pass interference call against the Farmington defense. Cameron Haynes, they stay a little bit close right there. Now the good news for Knights fans is this isn't the NFL, so it's not a spot foul. It's 15 yards.
Whew. Boy, the coverage there, and the throw was a little bit high, and I thought Haynes timed that perfectly with his hit coming in just right after the catch, but the official saw a little bit different.
Yeah, I did too. I thought he timed it pretty well, and Cameron kind of shrugs about it. Now, it's not often that you get a 15-yard pass interference penalty, and you still have a 3rd and 13. That's what we've got. The Knights defense on this drive has had so many opportunities to stop Poplar Bluff on 3rd and long, but have not been able to do so. See if they can do it here. Twins to the right, twins to the left. And B-Win, the single setback. Meisner gets the snap. He looks over the middle. Farmington rushes him, and he throws it down to the turf. And the Knights defense is held again. 3 for 3, Luke Mel.
Yeah, it was, and took a little bit longer on this drive to get there, but they did, and stopped a nice drive by Poplar Bluff.
Good coverage once again by the secondary, and Ferris giving Meisner a little chase right there. Francisco on to punt it away. And Farmington will put Logan Dodson out there to return this kick. The Knights have another return man out there as well. That's Tappan Westbrook. Farmington has scored on its first 2 possessions, and their 3rd is upcoming, and this one is off the side of the foot of Francisco. Farmington won't get quite as good field position as they've had in their first 2 drives, but not bad. They'll start at their own 31-yard line. Let's thank a few sponsors now that we have a chance. Hood's Discount Home Center in Farmington, Buckley Towing in Park Hills, Midwest Orthopedic Group in Farmington, and American Family Insurance, Bill Best in Park Hills. So the Knights back on the offensive side. 2 drives, a field goal, and a touchdown for this Knights offense. 2 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and Farmington leads 10-0. This has been a good alignment for Farmington in their past games where they put 2 running backs in there, Gavin Duncan to the right, Bond to the left, and Busenbark's just going to run this one himself as he puts his nose down and shoves it forward for a 4-yard gain.
It was, and that was one of the formations I talked about in the pregame show, saying how they had really helped develop some of the passing or the blocking lanes. I feel like that helped.
Seemed like Bond ran much more effectively when he had that extra blocker there, that extra running back there with him, but they'll go away from this alignment this time. 2 wides to each side. Busenbark fires it over to the far side of the field, and the pass is complete. A nice little bit of dancing that time by Logan Dodson. Eluded 1 defender and gained 6 yards.
Sure did, and I like what Farmington's doing. Keeping it simple, not trying to get too fancy. Running a little bit, then some short passes. Got a nice short 3rd down.
Farmington will like to keep it moving here. 3rd and short. See if the Knights can move the sticks. Busenbark back in the gun. Looks over to the left side. Pass complete to Finch. And Finch needs the 40-yard line. He's got that and more. As Tyler Finch pushes it out to the 45-yard line, a gain of 6 yards. They are keeping it simple, like you said.
Don't be surprised if they don't go for that deep ball.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
They like that.
Thinking they're setting it up as these corners come closer and closer to the line of scrimmage. Bond has it, makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss, and then stumbles forward across the 50-yard line. Gain of 8 yards for Braden Bond, his best run of the night.
Sure is. Made a couple of really nifty moves there and giving Poplar Bluff a taste of what we've seen a few different times.
35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. A gain of 8 for Bond right there. Bond gets it again. And this time he can't avoid that first tackler. First man knifing through was Nick Joachim, the middle linebacker. Going to be the final play of this first quarter as Farmington leads 10-0, and the Knights will have the football starting the second quarter of play. Boy, no gain by Braden Bond on that run. Farmington looks like they might try to snap it before the end of the first quarter. They will. Busenbark flips it over to the right side, and this one's incomplete. Pham dropped it. That'll be a 4th and 2 for the Knights. On the other side of this pause, we've got the end of the first quarter, a 10-0 lead for Farmington. I'll tell you more after this 1-minute timeout on KREI and Regional Radio.
By now, everyone knows that Cartridge World in Farmington is your best choice in saving you money on filling your printer and copier cartridges. Hi, this is Jeff at Cartridge World. As we begin our 7th year in business, we want to say thank you to St. Francis County and surrounding counties for their support and trust in our business. Here at Cartridge World, we have the newest technology and are always updating our filling procedures to serve you better. So again, thanks for making Cartridge World in Farmington your #1 choice in saving you money. That's Cartridge World in the Maple Valley Center.
The Potosi R3 School District is committed to excellence. They are very proud of all their students and their athletes. These young people work hard and show a ton of dedication. The Potosi R3 students and athletes are committed to excellence to high levels of achievement. Attitude and perseverance play a big part in their success. The Potosi R3 School District sincerely hopes the 2014-15 school year is a wonderful and memorable stepping stone in life's journey.
Farmington looking at a 4th and 2 from their own 48-yard line. Brendan Ferris, the punter, is in to punt this away. And it's a spiraling kick, and it rolls down to the 10-yard line. That's not bad. The kick returner kind of ran away from that one, Denzel Britton. And a long field for Poplar Bluff here coming up. Farmington leads it 10-0 at the end of the first quarter of play. And Luke, the defense has come out and really just kind of stoned Poplar Bluff so far.
They sure have, and save for a few 3rd and longs where they've let Menzer get out there and make some plays. I really like what I've seen out of the Farmington defense tonight.
An interception. They forced them to punt a couple of times. This defense playing well, and the offense has capitalized with a couple of short fields, a field goal, and a touchdown. So Meisner brings the Mules back out. They'll run it from their own 10-yard line. Trips to the left side, one off to the right. B. Wynn gets the carry right here, and they're stringing him out, and they knock him down at the 13-yard line. B. Wynn doesn't have a whole lot of room to run through, and that was Logan Dodson bringing him down one-on-one. Luke, I think I've seen more one-on-one tackles out of this Farmington outfit just this game so far than we've seen in a long time.
We sure have, and you got to commend it. Those kids have been doing a great job of tackling here. I really feel like the last 2 games, and really something we didn't see in the first week
and last year.
But I tell you what, they've been doing a nice job of it this year.
Trips to the right side, one wide to the left. B-Win once again, the single setback. Meisner's back to pass. He's got a man open over the middle, but perfect timing by the Farmington defense right there. That's Cameron Haynes again. This guy's been a revelation for this team. I just have loved what I'm seeing out of Cameron Haynes. And, when you watch the isolation camera on Sundays with the NFL cornerback and they time the hit just perfectly and dislodge the ball, that's what Cameron Haynes just did.
I thought he had a great play on the last drive, and right there got away with it this time, didn't get the flag. What a great play, though.
You like 3rd and 7, or do you like 2nd and 17? There's a penalty on the play.
Boy, I don't know. That's hard to tell. I guess they're going to take the.
Ooh, they declined it, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is there.
You know what? They're playing. They're pumped up right now, playing with some confidence.
I was going to say,
roll the dice.
Think about how the defense must feel as that penalties decline. They must feel like our coach has supreme confidence in us to go get the ball back on this play. Now they just got to make it pay off.
You bet.
Wide receiver trotting in, running back, Elijah Dawson. Meisner's been awful elusive on third downs. B-Win going to be the running back. 3 wide receivers to the right side. 1 off to the left. Meisner's just going to go ahead and run this thing. He breaks 2 tackles, and he dives ahead for a first down. Oh, mercy. We've talked about good tackling, Luke. That time, not so much. And Meisner gained 8 yards.
Meisner, he's been the best playmaker for these Mules tonight. And I tell you what, picked up a couple of crucial first downs.
This guy is 6'4", 175 pounds, but, I mean, he's pretty quick. That's a big play for Meisner and company in Poplar Bluff. 1st and 10 for the Mules at their own 21-yard line. 3 wides to the right, 1 to the left side. Meisner's back in the gun. He looks down the field. He's got a man wide open. I mean, Francisco was wide open. He was right between the linebackers and the secondary, and Meisner threw it right down on the turf.
He hasn't. A few times tonight just hasn't looked comfortable back there throwing it. Looked like he shortened up his pullback to throw it, and it just didn't look like a good throw. And we know he can throw it too. That's just it. We've seen him throw well before.
Farmington playing a zone that time, and they mix zones and mans. But we love seeing Cameron Haynes in man-to-man coverage. 2 wides to the right, 2 to the left here, 2nd and 10. Francisco, the motion man, and he wants to throw the football here, and he chucks it down the field, and Farmington picks it off. What a play! What an interception! Just laying out for it was Logan Dodson. He went completely horizontal. Luke was just in the middle of the air, grabbed it, and picked it off. And an amazing play by Logan Dodson, and maybe an ill-advised throw by the wide receiver, Francisco.
Well, Poplar Bluff going in the bag of tricks for that one, trying to make something happen. They've been kind of stagnant on offense, and I tell you what, probably one of the best plays you're going to see defensively all year long.
I mean,
what a great interception.
He jumped right in front and went horizontal on that. That was awesome. But last time Farmington intercepted one, Luke, they went for the home run ball. What do you think?
Oh, why not?
Why not? Okay, we'll see. Here's Busenbark, and Busenbark this time hands it off, but not much running room for Bond. The defensive front for Poplar Bluff that time got tough. And those guys brought him down. There's Nick Joachim. Joachim plays middle linebacker, and a little help from Stephen Haley, the defensive end right there as well. So no gain that time by Bond. 5 carries and only 16 yards for him. Trips to the right, 1 man to the left side. Busenbark looks off to the left. He saw some one-on-one coverage and thought he'd go over there, but the ball thrown well over the top of Tyler Finch. So this is bringing up a pretty quick 3rd and 10.
Well, it was, and either Finch ran the wrong route or Busenbark thought it was a different route because they were on 2 different pages there. Finch kind of went for a post route. Busenbark threw the go route for him.
Yep. So it quickly brings up a 3rd and 10 for the Knights. They've got Pham and Kraus off to the right side. And Twins off to the left side as well. Now Busenbark is under heavy pressure. I mean heavy pressure, and he is sacked. There could have been any one of about 4 or 5 guys that could have come up with that sack that time for Poplar Bluff. It was Tim Jones that got there first.
The blitz was on, the full-on blitz, and I tell you what, there just wasn't much Busenbark could do except for hold on for dear life.
Well, on something like that, you say, well, at least he didn't fumble. You know? Yeah. A loss of 11 yards for Busenbark there. So Ferris is on to punt it away. Snap is good. Ferris gets it cleanly. And once again, kicks it away from B-Win, but this thing is way short. In fact, this does not even, well, it travels back to the original line of scrimmage, the 36. So a terrific interception that time by Logan Dotson. Doesn't yield any points for Farmington, but the Farmington defense still solid, and the Knights lead it 10-0. Here's a Poplar Bluff team that is 2-0, and they're averaging 32.5 points per game. But they're being shut out right now anyway. They beat Fox 35-21, beat Dexter 30-20. Meisner back in the gun, hands it off to B-Win, and B gets a little bit of room to run right there. You know, he does look a lot like Braden Bond as he kind of ducks into the hole.
I feel like that was his best run of the night, just going straight down the field instead of he's been trying to get to the sideline and turn it up quite a bit tonight, and Farmington's done a good job of stopping that.
It was definitely his best run of the night. 4, 3, 3, 3, and then that one was 8. So 2nd and 2, and B-Win gets it again, and he is swallowed this time. Ferris hit him right there at the line of scrimmage. Nicholson's out there again, but it's going to be close. He needed 2, and the officials are standing right at the 45, right near that first down marker. And it looks like they're going to say 3rd and inches here. So gain of 2 by B-Win. And it brings that 3rd and less than a yard. I think Cameron Meisner would be a pretty good bet to gain you a yard when you need it.
He has been so far.
So it's Meisner and Win, and that's exactly where they'll go to. They'll go to Meisner right here. He was slowed in the backfield, but, you know, I think this is an underrated part of running the ball well. If you're able to follow blocks, and Meisner read the blocking scheme right there really well, and then just followed them around that left side for 4 yards and a first down.
Well, so many guys, when they get that ball, they just want to turn the turbo jets out and go full speed. It's usually the patient guys that usually wait for things to develop in front of them that have the most success.
You know who I thought maybe did that as well as anybody ever? Priest Holmes. He was so good at reading blocks, you know, cutting right off those linemen. Meisner did it right there. Twins to each side now. Meisner back in the gun. Wants to air it out down the left side, but the Farmington defense is all over it again. That's Chris Smith. And these wide receivers just can't shake free from the Farmington secondary.
I'll tell you what, Farmington just doing a nice job defensively all the way around. I feel like they're getting plenty of pressure on Minzer and the defensive backs, the linebacker core, everybody just doing a great job tonight.
How about this secondary? Cameron Haynes has defended a couple of balls terrifically. Logan Dotson has an interception. Braden Bond has a sack as a safety. Tappan Westbrook has an interception, and Chris Smith did a superb job right there. Trips to the right side. They'll flood that right side. And it'll be B-Win standing to the left side. Poplar Bluff just had 2 guys bust out
Ready to go.
early. Yeah. That was the tackle and the guard surged forward on the incorrect snap count. How could they call that on Farmington? They just called that on Farmington.
Wow.
That's almost impossible. You have 2 offensive linemen that blew out of their stances. And I really don't know how you can call that. Nevertheless, though, it's a 5-yard penalty on the Knights. And it'll be a 2nd and 5 now for Poplar Bluff. And Poplar Bluff into Farmington territory here. Just under 8 to play in the first half. 7:57, a 10-0 lead for the Knights. And Poplar Bluff with a 2nd and 5. And got the football just inside of the 48-yard line of the Knights. They'll send 2 wide receivers to the right side, 2 to the left. And B-Win, the single setback, stands right beside Meisner, who's back in the gun. Francisco, the motion man, and a quick flag. I think we're going to go back the other way. The officials discussed it and said, you know what, we really shouldn't have called that on Farmington.
Well, there you go.
Just kidding.
Yeah, we're
just joking with you guys.
2 penalties in a row, and nothing is resolved.
Oh, my, our KJF game has been moved to tomorrow. How about that? They've got some heavy weather.
Wow.
Up north. Oh, state ranking sheets. Oh, here we go. Got the state rankings as well that we'll let you know about. The KJF game, Jefferson at Herculaneum, has actually now been moved to tomorrow. Interesting. So a 2nd and 10 here for Poplar Bluff. Meisner back in the gun. B-Win. What a move by B-Win. He danced into the hole. Luke, I swear he backed up 2 steps, then went to the right side, and then surged forward for an 11-yard gain. That was awesome.
Yeah, nice little swim move, just kind of waving a guy out of the way, and nice bit of running on by B-Win on this drive.
That was a terrific run by B-Win right there. So the KJF game moved to tomorrow, as we said. Jefferson at Herculaneum. Fredericktown at Potosi on J98. We understand that they joined us and may still be with us. We'll get an update on whether we still have that. Meisner had a man wide open, didn't throw it. Now rushes and now does throw it to Austin Jefferson. Jefferson down to the 20 and then dives forward to the 10-yard line. So Meisner missed his man at first, and then threw it out there for a 32-yard gain.
Well, you had a feeling that Meisner, he's been keeping the play alive all night long with his feet, and that time paid off big as the Farmington cornerback came up to, obviously he's been a running threat, so they came up to make the tackle, and Meisner just dropped it over the top of him.
One of the few times we've seen the coverage not super tight, but I think, as you said, Luke, it was because of the running ability of Meisner. So Meisner has B. Wynn just to his left, and he's back in the shotgun. 1st and 10 just outside of the 10. B. Wynn trying to get to that right tackle spot, turns it up, and shoves it down near the 5-yard line, just outside of the 5. He's at the 6, a gain of 4 for B. Wynn. B. Wynn with 8 carries now and 37 yards. Nice, not done a bad job against him.
Well, his most productive drive right now, and as you see as he goes, so does the Poplar Bluff offense. It's probably their best drive of the night as well.
So it'll be a 2nd down now and 6. It is a goal-to-go situation. So the original line of scrimmage right there at the 10. Meisner, 3 wide receivers to the left side. He's got 1 to the right. Meisner's going to keep this one. And Meisner runs over that left tackle, tumbles over the 5-yard line. He's down to the 2. And now a stern test for this Knights defense coming up on a 3rd and goal from the 2. Gain of 4 by Meisner there. Meisner, the leading rusher in this game. He's got 6 carries and 47 yards. With that 6'4" frame, he just falls forward. He's got a touchdown from the 2-yard line.
Well, in these short yardage situations, they went to him tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the ball right now.
B. Wynn stands just to his right. It's not Meisner back in the gun. Meisner going to keep it. The Knights are stepping up, and they meet him in the hole and shut him down. Meisner short of the goal line. Needed 2 and picked up just 1 of those. Boy, terrific assignment football that time.
It sure was, and it looked like they may have even taken him back just a little bit. If just a short game, but I'll tell you what, gutsy play there, and big 4th down coming up now.
Nick Joachim is the kicker, and he is not in the game. Boy, this could be one of the plays of the game right now. So 4th and goal from the 2. Cameron Meisner, the quarterback. B. Wynn stands just to his left. They're going to run a jet sweep on a motion man here, and the Farmington Knights defense keeps him out. What a stand by the Farmington Knights. Briar Alford came across on the jet sweep, and Poplar Bluff probably didn't know it, Luke. But they just played into the strength of the Farmington defense, and that's forcing people to run east and west, and that's exactly what they did. A huge, huge stand by this Knights defense.
It was, and it looked like it was a bend but don't break situation there, and Farmington came up big, and wow, what a play. What a crown collision there on 4th down.
There you go. What a huge, huge stop by these Farmington Knights. They have shut out Poplar Bluff so far, a team averaging 32.5 points a game. A 10-0 lead for Farmington. 4:39 remaining in this first half of play. Farmington will have the football on their own 2-yard line when we come back in 30 seconds right here on KREI and Regional Radio.
Instead of sugary beverages that add extra calories and don't provide optimal hydration, rethink your drink. Regular hydration with quality Culligan bottled water is best. Waiting until your body gives you a thirsty signal means you have 3% level of dehydration and up to 15% decline in maximum performance capacity.
Right now, Culligan is offering low-cost cooler rentals, 20 gallons of water, and no delivery charge. Just call 573-431-3016. Culligan, better water, pure and simple. Limited time offer. Dealer participation may vary. See dealer for details.
Luke, the season is young, but I think that's the play of the year so far for Farmington.
It definitely is. What a statement this first half has been. Do we finally see Farmington maybe turning the page and play some really solid football now?
I like how they have Duncan and Bond in the game right here. Bond rushes it straight through the middle. Not much room to run, but he does get out of the shadow of his own goal line by 2 yards. every little bit helps, right? Bond with 6 carries and 18 yards. I like how they have an extra blocker in for him right now. Duncan, Busenbark, and Bond all out there. They're all forming a T in the backfield. And Bond gets it once again and just nowhere for him to go that time. No gain by Bond on that one. So it's a 3rd and long for the Knights. a 3rd and 9. And you know what? The way your defense is playing, I almost say just run it up the middle again.
Well,
We'll see. But
those receivers have been able to get some separation, and we've seen some drops, though. So, tell you what, if you get an opportunity to get one of them guys open.
Bonds the single setback now. Busenbark rolling to his left, under a little bit of pressure. He's going to float it out there. Pass intended for Trevor Keith, and he dropped it. Trevor Keith was behind everybody, and I mean everybody on the field, and the pass hit him on the hip at the 24-yard line, and he put it on the ground. Great work by Busenbark to roll to his left, create that extra time, and then he threw that running to his left. That was a difficult throw, and he made a great play out of it.
We've seen him make those throws this year, and I tell you what, that's the second time. I remember him making a great throw, get great effort, or kind of a gutsy, risky play there, rolling out in your own end zone. But
that's the 4th drop of the game, Luke. So Ferris is on to punt it. His heels will be on the back of his own end zone. And Poplar Bluff going to bring 10 guys here. Snap is good. Here comes Poplar Bluff. Ferris didn't quite shank it, but it's not a great punt. And he's only able to bounce it out to the 30-yard line. So 3:23 remaining in this first half. A 10-0 lead for Farmington. Boy, the Knights sure could have used that catch on 3rd down.
wow, that would have been huge. Keith could have scored on that one, I think. That could have been a 98
He was behind
yard.
everybody, wasn't he? Yeah. Sure was. I'm not going to say it was the easiest catch in the world, but you got to come up with it here.
So we got a new quarterback in for Poplar Bluff.
We do, yeah. And he's not even listed as their second stringer. It's Zane Faust. So Zane Faust stands right beside B. Wynn. And Faust flips it over to the right side, and a huge crown collision that time. What a hit. And there's our favorite cornerback, Cameron Haynes. That's a ball dislodged, and that's a crown collision, my friends.
Oh, I tell you what, this kid's is bringing the hammer.
Woo!
Isn't he? Hammer time.
That's the second time we've seen him time his hit exactly at the arrival of the ball and just no chance to catch it. Great play.
Look at the quarterback for the Mules has to pat that receiver on the head and say, sorry about that one, bud.
So Zane Faust, the quarterback here for Poplar Bluff. I didn't see Meisner showing any ill effects. Faust keeps it this time, and he's not the runner that Meisner is. He slams into the middle of the line, and there's Mr. Nicholson just pounding him down to the ground. Back-to-back crown collisions there.
So, yeah, Nicholson smelled some fresh meat in there, and welcome to the ball game.
Loss of a yard by Faust. Boy, you're punting it out of your own end zone. You don't get a particular great punt. Great time for a couple of defensive plays. And if the Knights could come up with another one here, probably 4-down territory for Poplar Bluff. Hopefully we'll see. Faust back in the gun, and a flag comes down before the play even starts.
That's going to be a legal procedure.
Indeed it is.
Wade Bridgewater jumped just a little bit early there.
That's the 6th penalty on Poplar Bluff. We saw a lot of penalties out of Farmington's opponent last week also. North County was flagged 15 times for 131 yards last week.
Farmington playing a relatively clean game tonight.
Yeah. So it'll be a 3rd and 16, and Faust hands it off to B. Wynn, and B gets an opening. Boy, he just dances and dodges and darts.
Boy, he is quick.
He's like water just flowing through. And B. Wynn, my gosh, I didn't think he got near 1st down territory, but he might have. He's close. What a run by B. Wynn. It'll be a 4th down, but he needed 16, and he picked up 14 of them.
Wow. He probably picked up about 20 going side to side.
Yeah, he probably
Making
did.
some Farmington guys missed.
Another big 4th down here. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. A 10-0 lead for the Knights. B. Wynn just rushed it for 14 yards, but it needed 16 for the 1st down, so it's a 4th and 2. And they're going to pass the football this time, and it's incomplete. Why do you not give it to B. Wynn? I don't understand that play. I'll take it, though.
Absolutely.
And the Farmington Knights defense has held again. We saw, even in week number 1, Luke, when Farmington lost to Ladue 46-7. I know this might sound a little weird. You give up 46 points. We saw improvement over last year's defense. In week 2, we saw a big step forward, and through the first half anyway, we've seen another big step forward for this Farmington D.
Yeah, especially those big downs, and that's where Farmington we thought really lacked it, was those third down, fourth down situations. And they've shown us tonight that they're ready to step it up.
So here comes Busenbark again. They're looking for the jet sweep. Instead, Boozy keeps it this time. And he's tagged at the line of scrimmage, but he doesn't come down easy. Stephen Haley, the defensive end, wrapped him up, but Stephen Haley is 185 pounds, and Busenbark is about 200. A gain of just a yard there for Boozy that time. So 2nd and 9. The clock counting down, close to 2 minutes here. Busenbark wants to pass it this time, completes it to Finch, and Finch has a first down and more. Finch across the way. He's got a 10-yard gain, a 20-yard gain, and forced out on the Poplar Bluff side of the field after a 27-yard pickup. He showed us some jets that time.
He sure is, and we've seen him catch a big pass last week, and I tell you what, this kid, he's had a few drops throughout the year here, but I tell you what, he's got some wheels, and once he caught that little hitch route, man, he turned it on.
Well, he did. Farmington maybe playing for field position early in this drive, but now you're thinking points. Busenbark fires it out to Kraus. Kraus catches it now across the 40-yard line, and it's a gain of 8 yards.
Well, I think we've learned enough over the first 2.5 games that Busenbark can throw the ball and put it on point. Now his receivers just got to help him out and catch the ball.
You're right. And they caught the last 2, thank goodness. And let's see if Farmington can keep it moving. 2nd and just a yard. Gain 9 actually on that play. Farmington moved there, but no call. Vaughn was hit in the backfield, but the little man shoved the defender forward, and he gains a first down. Great run by Vaughn. I know it's just 2 yards, but that's a nice run.
Right now, you kind of got Poplar Bluff reeling, 2 big stops on the defensive side of the ball and, 2 big pass plays there. I keep the gas pedal on them.
Score here would be huge for the Farmington Knights. Busenbark flips it out once again, and once again the pass is complete. And Bryant he's hitting almost every receiver on the numbers right now. And that time he hit number 21, Tyler Finch, for a gain of 7 yards. Finch has 4 catches for 67 yards.
Yeah, he caught a big one over the middle earlier in the game and had a drop too, but tell you what, on this drive, 2 big catches.
And Busenbark now is 9 for 15 for 111 yards in the game. 40 seconds remaining. That clock is rolling. And Farmington in Poplar Bluff territory. The deep ball here, only one man is going to be able to get it. That's a Poplar Bluff guy. And it's even too long for him, thank goodness.
Well, the second time this quarter that the quarterback and receiver haven't been on the same page. Kraus looks back immediately. He was running a different route there.
33 seconds left. The line of scrimmage is the 26-yard line. This would be about a 43-yard field goal attempt, Luke, but the bad news is there's a slight little breeze coming in from the south, which makes it a little bit more difficult.
Little Farmington, in just roughly 2 minutes of time, have taken the ball about 50 yards down the field, so they show they can move the ball. There's still plenty of time for a few more plays.
Knights call a timeout. 33 seconds left first half. Farmington leads 10-0. I'll tell you more on the other side of this. 30-second pause on KREI Farmington.
The new generation, Hoods Discount Home Center.
Don't miss doorbuster savings all this month at Hood's Discount Home Center. While supplies last, pick up Magic Interior flat wall paint for $6.49 a gallon, a 3-horsepower gas generator for $199.99, or how about a bone collector ground blind with a heat release roof vent and shoot-through mesh for $122 each. It's all good at Hood's Discount Home Center, Highway 67 South, Farmington.
So the Knights call a timeout, and they are looking at a 3rd and 3. Line of scrimmage is the 26-yard line of Poplar Bluff. And just 33 seconds left. And it looks like the rain delays persist, so our listeners on J98 and KJEF Radio continue to be with us. Thanks so much for joining us. Here's Busenbark rolling to his right. He's under some heavy pressure, and he is rolled down and thrown down. That's Michael Kerr. And that throws Farmington out of field goal position also. And Poplar Bluff now calls a timeout. Oh, no, Farmington calls a timeout. That's a little odd. 20.5 seconds remaining in this first half. A 10-0 lead for the Knights. Let's thank a few sponsors now that we have a moment. County Do-It Center in St. Genevieve, Crown Collision Center in Farmington, and Donaldson Cycles in Park Hills, also Fleegs Equipment in St. Genevieve. Well, the only reason that you call a timeout is if you're for sure going for it, Luke. I'm a little surprised Farmington called that timeout. You could just, if Poplar Bluff doesn't call the timeout, this half is over and you're up 10-0. And with Farmington deferring to the second half, the Knights are going to get the football to start the second half, too.
I would have liked to see him just let Kraus try a field goal. Long field goal there at the end of the half, no time left.
52-yarder, huh? Well, the way Busenbark has thrown tonight, I mean, you're certainly capable of picking up the first down.
Well, picked up a pretty long pass on fourth down earlier in the game, so.
Well, let's see what the Knights call here. 20 seconds remaining in the first half. A 10-0 lead for the Knights. They're looking at a 4th and 11 from the Poplar Bluff 35-yard line. They're going to bring in both backs here, Duncan and Bond. Max protect for Busenbark. They've got 2 wides to the right side and 1 wide receiver off to the left. They feel like if they can give Busenbark some time here, maybe he could complete one. The officials stopping play here for some reason. They have reset the clock now for 2.5 seconds. Not sure if that's correct.
Coach Krupe probably.
Okay, now it's 25 seconds, yeah.
I was wondering if Coach Krupe maybe told the official that he wanted a timeout with 2 seconds left. Probably not.
I guess not. 25 seconds left now. So Twins to the right, 1 wide receiver off to the left side. Busenbark back in the gun. Here's the snap. Brandt looks down the field. He wants to air it out. This pass really not close to anybody. And then Busenbark is laid out in the backfield. So now Poplar Bluff has 20 seconds left. And that's really the only reason I was kind of wondering why you call a timeout there. Well, I would think the most important part of that is not to let Poplar Bluff have the ball back.
Well, you definitely don't want to give them any kind of momentum.
Cameron Meisner, the starting quarterback, has not been out there in the last 2 series for Poplar Bluff. And he's been their best threat just running the football. Now, we didn't see that he was limping around or injured, but maybe that's something that we'll have to see if we can figure out. And now here's B. Wynn running it straight up the field, and he breaks through into the Farmington secondary. A huge gain for B. Wynn before he's finally forced out of bounds at the Farmington 40-yard line. A gain of 26 yards for B. Wynn with 13 seconds left. So every time he touches, he gains more yards now.
Like you said, this is what we were talking about. Why give Poplar Bluff a chance to come back and do something here?
Joe Darlin checks in as the quarterback. This is the 3rd quarterback now we've seen.
This is the big arm guy here. This kid stands tall. He might be the one that comes in the end zone.
6'4", 185-pound sophomore. He's got 2 wides to the right side, 1 to the left. He's looking down the field, and that's in fact what he is going to do, is throw it toward the end zone, Luke. And Farmington had 2 coverage guys out there on 1 wide receiver. So terrific coverage. Denzel Britton didn't have a chance to catch that one. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 10 for Poplar Bluff. 7.7 seconds left.
That brings up 2nd down.
Joe Darlin. Zane Faust, Cameron Meisner. They're running a turnstile from the quarterback position over there. All right, 1 or 2 plays left in the half. Farmington's just got to keep this Poplar Bluff team out of the end zone here. 7.7 seconds remaining in the first half. B. Wynn standing to the left of Darlin. Darlin gets ready to throw the football, and a great job by Farmington to rush the passer that time. He was hit right before he threw the ball. And Farmington got to him there with Chase Montgomery. New number out there. I think that was Chase Montgomery. Yeah, it was. Gord, Chase. And now 3.7 seconds left. Probably the final play of the half here. You're almost in full prevent mode now if you're the Farmington defense. Just knock everything down so they can't score. And now Darlin's under heavy pressure right here. He's going to scramble. Now he's going to curl back. He's got a man wide open, and he flat dropped the ball. Whew! He was wide open with room to run. That was Briar Alford. It would have taken some nifty footwork to make it all the way to the end zone, but Alford drops the ball. And we've seen the best half of play that we've seen in 2 or 3 years out of these Farmington Knights, Luke.
They sure showing a lot of heart, a lot of guts there. Boy, we saw some great defensive plays out there. And tell you what, that's really been where it's all started with, was the defense.
Yeah, it was. They chose to start on defense to defer in the second half. And lo and behold, they intercepted a ball and took it in for a field goal. And then the next drive, they stopped them, forced a punt, and got a touchdown. The Farmington offense, well, they stalled out a little bit after that. They did push it pretty deep into Poplar Bluff territory down to the 21-yard line. But Knights trying to come up with maybe a few adjustments on the offensive side. And for the defense, more of the same would be just fine. So a 10-0 lead for Farmington, and we are at the half. Well, Luke Mell dropped some wisdom on us at the very first of the game. He said, I like the fact that Farmington deferred to the second half. Get the defense out there, give them a chance to do something, and that's exactly what happened. They picked it off and kicked a field goal, and so the Knights will receive the second half kickoff. And well, we've seen Nick Joachim as the middle linebacker. We've not seen him as the kicker yet. So this will be the first time to see Poplar Bluff's kicking team. In fact, I'm not sure that Nick's going to be out there to kick it anyway. He's their listed starter as the kickoff guy. And it looks like Briar Alford going to come on to kick this one away. And Farmington will put Logan Dodson and Braden Bond, the deep men, to receive this kickoff. Farmington going left to right as Luke and I look at and describe the action to you here in this second half. Poplar Bluff going to kick it off right to left. And the kick is shallow. And it's taken by Dodson. He grabs it at his own 11-yard line. Not much blocking there, and he got slammed. Whew! I mean, he got lit up pretty good on that one. That was Tim Jones laying some wood right there.
Oh, he did. Brought the lumber.
Well, we prefer to have a crown collision by a Farmington guy, but that was a crown collision right there.
Yes, it was.
So the Farmington offense coming out. Most of the work by the Farmington offense was done in the first two drives. All the points, a field goal and a touchdown. Let's see if the Knights can put something together here on the first drive of the second half. Grant Busenbark, the quarterback, he's back in the gun. He'll put two men to the right side and two to the left. He's got Braden Bond back there with him, beside him in that formation. And a completion out to the left side of the field. And Farmington's got some room to work along that left sideline. It's Trevor Keith. He dives across the first down marker, a gain of 11. Not only a good catch by Trevor Keith, but nice yak yards right there, yards after the catch.
Sure was. Did a great job of getting to the marker and picking up the first down.
Trevor Keith has 3 catches now tonight for 33 yards. So he's averaging 11 and moved the sticks for the Farmington Knights. They fake it to Bond. Busenbark keeps it right here. And not much room to run for Busenbark right there as he's tackled by Stephen Haley. Something that I will note out of these Poplar Bluff players, they are good sportsmen. I see him knock Farmington down, pick him up, and then hit him again the next play.
Yeah, great to see that.
A gain of 4 by Busenbark right there, and now he has a -1 rushing. A catch by Ken Pham, and if he keeps his feet, that could be a pretty good gain. But he broke the tackle of a Poplar Bluff mule, but just as he slid out of the grasp, he fell down to the ground. So a gain of 3 yards. First catch of the night for Pham. The 11th completion for Busenbark. Busenbark back in the gun, and he wants to air this one out down the far side of the field, threw it into coverage, and this one is picked off. Poplar Bluff picks him off, and now they're returning it down that far sideline. It's Jonathan Barnes. And really the first mistake by Busenbark of the night. That wasn't really man-to-man coverage on the left side. It was a zone, and Barnes was back there just waiting for the ball.
It was, and he read it perfectly and returned it back quite a ways and got into Farmington territory.
Well, the second half starting just like the first half, except opposite. An interception by the team with the ball to start out the second half of play. And Farmington picked it off to start the first half of play. Here's B. Wynn, and B. Wynn, a slippery back, tries to find a little space behind his left guard. Not a whole lot of space there. Got a good tackle by Jacob Cluck on a gain of 4 by B. Wynn. 81 yards rushing for B. Wynn on 11 carries, and still we don't see Cameron Meisner, so he must be injured. It's Zane Faust out there running the quarterback for Poplar Bluff on this drive. We've seen Faust, Joe Darlin, and then Cameron Meisner started the game. B. Wynn dodges to the right side and then ducks back to the inside. That flag comes down at a place where sometimes you'll see a face mask call. But it might be a downfield hold, too. We will wait and see. As B. Wynn gained about 6 yards right there. And it's another holding penalty against Poplar Bluff, Luke. And they've not necessarily been the most disciplined team tonight.
Yeah, they sure haven't. And they've had some nice plays that have came back because of, just stupid penalties.
That's their 4th holding penalty, in fact. So they were going to have a 3rd and very manageable. Instead, they'll have a 2nd and 9 here. It was a 2nd and about 11. That was a downfield hold too. That wasn't right there at that. People think of it the holding box. That was a downfield hold. So a 2nd and 11, and it's Zane Faust playing quarterback. Elijah Dawson deploys wide to the right side, off to the left. It's Britton, and B. Wynn the single setback. Wynn gets it. Farmington trying to force him to move east to west, and they string him out and then tie him down. Good work by that Knights defense, stringing him out right there. And that was middle linebacker Scotty Roberts that got out there and helped to string that out to the sideline and gain him just a yard for B. Wynn.
Boy, he moves fast when he has the ball, but as you said, keep him going east and west, not north and south.
Now, Tyler Curtis rushed for 100 yards last week, but for the most part, that's what Farmington did last week, because they kept stringing him out to the sideline, and what a hit by the Farmington secondary. That was a nice shot that time by Tappan Westbrook on the completion. Just as the ball got there, it was over the top of Ross Russian, but once again, the timing of the hit was absolutely perfect by the Farmington secondary. Tappan Westbrook, 5'5" and 155-pound sophomore. They say he's one of the biggest hitters on the team.
Well, and we've seen it, I tell you what, a couple times tonight, making the receivers for Poplar Bluff a little bit more timid going over the middle.
So a 4th and 9. Farmington has turned Poplar Bluff away on downs, I believe, 3 times in this game. And now a timeout by the officials. Do I remember that right, Luke? As you look at the drive chart, do we force them to give it over on downs 3 times?
Twice before, yeah.
Okay, all right. So timeout on the field, 9:26 remaining in the 3rd. 10-0. Farmington on top, and the Knights defense pushing Poplar Bluff into a 4th and 9. Line of scrimmage is the Farmington 34. I'll tell you more on the other side of this 30-second pause on KREI and Regional Radio.
If you're thinking about building, remodeling, or have any project in your future, stop by Farmington Building Supply. You'll find everything needed for the do-it-yourselfer or the professional contractor. Check out their newly updated paint department. The Do It Best quality paint line is one of the fastest growing private brands in the industry. And the best look self-priming interior or exterior paints now carries a lifetime warranty. Stop in and ask how you can receive special pricing on your paint purchase. Farmington Building Supply, proud sponsors of high school athletics.
Well, one of the quarterbacks, Joe Darlin, checks in as a wide receiver right here. Zane Faust is the quarterback, and he puts 3 wide to the right side, 1 to the left. B. Wynn, the single step back, standing just to his right. And Faust looks down the field and zips this one over the top of Denzel Britton. And this Knights defense, Luke, gives up a few yards after the interception, but they hold again. What a huge stop after giving up an interception to stop this Poplar Bluff offense yet again.
It sure was, and it should also be noted that, Poplar Bluff was moving the ball until that holding penalty The penalties have kind of been their bane tonight.
Zane Faust, 0 for 4 on the night. All right, let's see if we can get this Farmington offense moving now. A 2-score lead, but we do like being greedy from time to time. 9:22 remaining in the third, and Busenbart keeps it on the fake jet sweep that time to Bond. I'll tell you what, this defensive front from Poplar Bluff isn't the biggest, but these dudes are tough. Tyler Norton, 220. He's the biggest guy on that defensive line. Jordan Lansford at 185. Michael Kerr at 185. Stephen Haley at 185. These guys are tough.
They haven't, they've been making some secure tackles and not a lot of broken tackles on either side of the ball.
No gain for Busenbark on the play. 8 minutes and 52 seconds on this third quarter clock. 3 to the left side for Busenbark, 2 to the right. Grant gets it from the gun, fires it out along that left sideline and completes it once again. That's been a nice spot for the Knights along that sideline. And Finch grabs it and then pushes it ahead for a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, we saw a pretty nice drive towards the end of the second quarter for Farmington, and they started off with plays just like that, And if you could just get a couple of yards at a time, that's all it takes.
Busenbark just tries to run the straight quarterback keeper that time up the middle, and he goes absolutely nowhere. And once again, we talk about that defensive line who's doing a terrific job. And Nick Joachim, the middle linebacker, plays really close to that defensive line. He's right there at the line of scrimmage a number of times as well, and he came up with the stop on that one. So Busenbark loses another yard there. He's got 7 carries and a -2. Not a lot of offense outside of the first 2 drives for Farmington. As Ferris comes on to punt it away. I don't know why Denzel Britton's standing all the way back at his 10. Ferris hasn't come close to kicking it that far. And he doesn't this time either. In fact, Ferris has hit it off the side of his foot every single time, off to the right, and he does so on that one too. Britton was about 25 yards further back.
He didn't want anything to do with that football.
I guess not. Line of scrimmage for Poplar Bluff will be their own 32-yard line. I think there'd be a coach on the sideline going, move up, son, move up. Well, the stars of the game, here's that Farmington defense once again. They've been fun to watch tonight. Zane Faust, the backup quarterback, coming on in relief of Cameron Meisner. With Meisner out, that's forced this team to be a little bit more one-dimensional, and B. Wynn, really the major weapon right here. And another big hit right there, as we've not seen Mr. Chase Montgomery get a whole lot of time early in the season. But Big Chase is out there and making some things happen. Another one of those tackle nose guard types for Farmington.
It was, and it was a high snap for Poplar Bluff, and B. Wynn just didn't have a chance on that one. And Farmington defense just getting in the backfield, and Montgomery and them, Gang, just a couple of the Knights making a huge tackle.
They've got a nice rotation at the tackle spot, don't they, Lou? So a 2nd and 13. And it's Faust, the quarterback. Hands it off to B. Wynn once again. They force him in between the tackles, and that's Jacob Cluck, not only turning him inside from that end spot, but then collapsing down for the tackle as well. And, well, B. Wynn lost 3 yards on the first carry, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage right there.
Yeah, Cluck doing a nice job just wrapping up, holding on to a small guy like Wynn, maybe gets away from you, but not that time.
We literally saw Wynn go into the hole one time. Noticed there was nothing there. Backed up 3 steps and then went around the other way. Zane Faust has not shown to be particularly accurate with his passing in this game. This time he keeps it on the option play. Looked like Wynn was out there available for the pitch, but Jared Nicholson, one of the first ones to wrap him up, and Faust goes down after just a 1-yard gain. And you can really tell with Meisner not in there, that playbook has really closed down for Poplar Bluff, Luke.
Yeah, it sure has. And Farmington I thought they were doing a great job with Meisner in there. And now that they've gone to their backups, they've really just kind of dominated.
So Francisco's on to punt it away. The snap is good. He catches it cleanly. He knocks this one down the field. A terrific punt by Francisco. He rolls it inside of the 20, inside of the 15, all the way down to the 12-yard line. That's a terrific punt.
Oh, that was a good punt.
Well, we just heard from Glenn Johnson, and Glenn telling us they're making a decision at 9 o'clock for the Fredericktown game. There might be a late one over there.
Yeah. When he said things look bleak,
Yeah.
what did he mean?
I guess they're going to make a decision coming up at 9. That's about 9 minutes away. I guess we'll know whether we'll have late night football for you. They go for a water break timeout here on the field. 5:34 remaining in the third. 10-0 Farmington. And the Knights are on offense at their own 11-yard line when we come back in a minute on J98 and KREI.
Precious memories left behind bring us joy and peace of mind when we celebrate the lives of those we love.
We're there for you in your time of need. In fact, we've been serving the Farmington area since 1864. With years of service to our community, we're proud to be your choice for funeral care.
Celebrate the lives of those you love.
Cozine Memorial Chapel, Farmington.
Innovative Warehousing and Distribution in Farmington is a proud supporter of the area athletes. Innovative Warehousing and Distribution in Farmington encourages all athletes to work hard and keep your direction. The key word to a winning team is work. Innovative Warehousing is a proud supporter of the community and area high school sports. This message brought to you by your friends at Innovative Warehousing and Distribution in Farmington.
Well, with 3 wide receivers to the left side, they'll toss it over to Finch out there. Finch trying to work through some blocks, and even though the defense did collapse pretty quickly, Finch is good for a 6-yard gainer. Kraus was out on an island to the right side and would have had some room to work out there as well.
Well, I think if Finch ever gets a little bit of his concentration down and catch that ball a little bit more consistently, he could be a huge playmaker for this team.
Now twins to the east side, and finally Braden Bond picks up a few blocks. He's running across that right side, across the 30-yard line. A first down and more for the Farmington Knights. And a gain now out to the 35-yard line of 16 yards for Braden Bond. Well, that was blocked impeccably, wasn't it?
Sure was. And talking about playmakers, you know, Bond with a great run, but like you said, you got to give credit to his teammates for opening up that hole.
Well, Glenn Johnson reporting from Potosi as the ball's flipped over to the left side for Farmington. A nifty piece of footwork by the wide receiver out there. Was that Finch again?
It was.
Oh, that was a nifty piece of footwork, and he gained 9 yards in the completion. Finch now has 7 catches and 99 yards receiving tonight. And Glenn telling us that there's no rain now in the Potosi area. Fredericktown playing at Potosi, but there is lightning in the distance. They're giving it 10 minutes to clear out before they'll go ahead and decide to play that game. So we'll have word pretty soon on that. Braden Bond needed a yard for the first down. Hey, you got it. How about that? There wasn't much room to run there. He must have pushed that ball forward just a little bit.
Well, you know he does that. You know he doesn't usually go backwards too often.
He doesn't. Got that low center of gravity, but he also has tremendous leg drive. This is a guy at 137 pounds. He has a 315-pound squat. And now there's Busenbark. He just runs the straight keeper that time, and he shoves it forward for a 4-yard gain. Now, Farmington hasn't scored points in a while, Luke, but what the offense has been able to do is they're not going 3 and out. They're at least melting clock.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's huge. And give that defense a little bit of time to breathe, even though, you know, some of these kids obviously play both ways, but still.
There's an injury timeout for Poplar Bluff, so 4:07 remaining in the third quarter, a 10-0 lead for Farmington. And we'll be back here at Poplar Bluff after this 30-second pause on regional radio.
Who loves sports as much as you do? Megasport shares your love of sports. Not just one sport, but all sports. And because they know sports, they carry the brands and items you need to get your game on. From shoes to apparel and equipment to team uniforms and names like Nike, Under Armour, Easton, Louisville Slugger, Mizuno, Rawlings, and more. So when you're in the game, remember Megasports in Farmington. In the field or on the field. It's Megasports.
Get your game on.
Farmington now just nudging into Poplar Bluff territory. Line of scrimmage of the Poplar Bluff 49-yard line. It's a 2nd and 4 for these Knights, and they'll bring in the 2 running back formation here. Duncan to the left side of Busenbark and Bond to the right side of Busenbark. They'll give it to Bond, and even with Duncan blocking for him, Tristan Francisco, that free safety, comes up and knocks him down after just a 1-yard gain. Those safeties are playing hard in run support, plus the backers play so close to the line of scrimmage anyway. You think Farmington, we kind of talked about it, with as many wide routes as they've thrown, we might see a downfield route, but the corners are playing way back, so they're kind of hedging against that. And the Knights on a 3rd and 2, give it to Bond. I think he got just enough,
Oh,
Luke.
he's close.
Bond had his legs wrapped up 2 yards in front of the first down mark and somehow lunged forward out of that tackle to get the first down. So Braden with 12 carries and 40 yards. They've been hard earned. Only one time did he get a really, really clear path to run through. And that was a 16-yard gain. So the Knights pushing the football down the field, 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, and this Knights defense has pitched a shutout so far. Busenbark trying to get behind double lead blocks that time, and Stephen Haley just pounds him down to the ground.
We've seen some hard-hitting football tonight, haven't we?
Well, we have. And, and it's been from the Poplar Bluff front 7 and from the Farmington secondary, for the most part. Busenbark lost a yard there, and it's a 2nd and 11. The cornerback still playing way off of these wide receivers, and Busenbark completes this one out to Kraus. If Kraus can break a tackle, he's got something. To the 30, to the 20, to the 15, down to the 10-yard line. Braden Kraus, a 35-yard gain down the right sideline.
It wasn't just a perfectly timed throw there. There was some pressure coming into the backfield, and Busenbark got the ball away just in time. Boy, what a great play that turned out to be.
Didn't it feel like we've kind of been waiting for that one to come for a long time?
Yeah.
So Farmington has a 1st and goal now from the 10-yard line. And here's Bond. Now Bond got a little room to run, and he slams over 3 men on the way to the end zone. That's the good news. The best run of the night probably for Braden Bond, as he just pounded on that defense, but a holding penalty against these Knights. Well, the Fredericktown at Potosi game has been rescheduled for 1 o'clock tomorrow, and we would have carried it, except that we're broadcasting the Valley Catholic Westram game tomorrow at 1:30, so won't be able to carry that one. Westram and Valley, by the way, the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the state.
Wow, that should be a great game.
Class 2 and Class 1, yeah, should be really good. That was a spot foul. That was a 12-yard penalty against the Knights. That makes 1st and goal from the 22 a little different proposition. Busenbark keeps this one, slammed down right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain by Busenbark there.
Number 50 for Poplar Bluff, Stephen Haley. He just keeps trying to time that snap count. It looks like a couple times I thought he's been off sides, but man, he is really getting into that backfield fast.
Even if you could kick a field goal here, Luke, that would set you up for maybe another field goal later, and that'd be big, just putting points on the board the way this game is going. So it's a 2nd and goal from the 21-yard line. That's too far for an end goal. 1 minute and 45 seconds and counting down in the 3rd period. Busenbark's in the gun. He's got Bond standing to his right. 2 wide receivers to each side. 1st and goal from the 21-yard line. Busenbark under heavy pressure, and he's slammed down at the 30-yard line. The Farmington got down to the 10-yard line and then moved straight back 20 yards, and now they're pretty much out of field goal position.
Well, I tell you what, Poplar Bluff's been heavy on the blitz and in both linebackers right now. Would be a perfect time to call that screen to Braden Bond.
Yep, I think you're right. You think you can text Derek Eves pretty quick here?
He might be. I don't know if he take my advice or not.
So it's 3rd and goal from the 30-yard line for Farmington. Busenbark rolling to his right side, under pressure again, floats it down the field in heavy traffic, Oh, my, did he catch that? I don't know how he caught that. Trevor Keith caught that ball at the 10. He had a guy draped all over him. An incredible catch by Trevor Keith.
Well, it was. He came back to I had already looked away. I had assumed the ball had hit the turf, but what a great catch.
It was incredible. And now that gives Braden Krause a chance at 3 points here on the field goal. That was an amazing catch by Keith. I thought for sure the defensive back had him corralled, and I thought the defensive back was going to hit it as well, and Trevor came up with that ball. So this will mean a 27-yard field goal try for Braden Krause. Krause was 0 for 2 last week on field goals, but he's 1 for 1 so far this week. He's going to try to put Farmington on top 13-0. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. Now, he does not have to kick this if they want to kick with the wind. The play clock is higher than the game clock. I think that's a smart move.
Yeah.
Not only, Luke, are you going to kick the field goal with the wind, but if you make it, you're going to kick off with the wind too. That was a smart move. So 10-0. Farmington on top. We're going to the fourth quarter, and the Knights going to set up apparently for a 27-yard field goal when we return in 1 minute right here on Regional Radio.
Hey sports fans, this is Bill Best, your American Family Insurance agent, serving the Parkland area for 30 years. Yes, that's right, 30 years this year. We have our team in place for a new season with seasoned veterans Teresa Buxton and Connie Agnew, and new recruit Nick Agnew. We have built our reputation on honesty, great service, and great products from American Family Insurance Company. We have the big plays ready for our customers with homeowners, auto, business, and life insurance products. Join the winning team. Call Bill Best in Park Hills today. We're proud to sponsor high school sports.
Hi, neighbor. Hey, I noticed the new landscaping around your yard. Looks pretty nice.
Thanks, we're doing some home improvements. And we did it all with Potosi Lumber.
Really?
We replaced cabinets, added new carpets, put in storm doors, customized replacement windows, and a lot more.
It's time for fall home improvements. See Potosi Lumber, Highway 21 in Potosi.
All right, so Farmington lining up for a 27-yard field goal here on the first play of the fourth quarter. The Knights lead at 10-0. Braden Krause has already knocked through a 38-yard field goal. And Krause going to try to hit his second one of the game here. A good offensive drive by Farmington. The snap is good. The hold is down. And Braden Krause sends this one up and through.
Boy, that one would have been good from about 45 yards.
He did. He knocked that one clean out of the stadium. So a 13-0 lead for these Farmington Knights. And your kickoff coming up in 1 minute on Regional Radio.
Hello, neighbor. Come on in.
All the girls are oohing and eyeing over your new flooring and granite. May I look? I want to ooh and ah too. New hardwood, carpet, tile, granite countertops. Tell me your secret. You struck oil. Magic words. Tell me your magic words for beautiful flooring and granite. I want the oohs and ahs too.
Buzenbark.
Buzenbark?
Buzenbark flooring and granite was the clear choice for me. Buzenbark guarantees and warranties their first quality flooring, granite, and trademark installation service and has for over 70 years. You want to know the best part?
Ooh, it gets better?
Buzenbark has the best bargains with savings up to 50%.
Ah.
Buzenbark's huge warehouses are oozing with truckloads of first quality bargains, priced to match any budget.
Ooh.
So when it comes to new flooring and granite, repeat these magic words and get the oohs and ahs just like me.
I will.
There's no place like Buzenbark.
There's no place like Buzenbark.
There's no place like Buzenbark.
There's no place like
Buzenbark Flooring and Granite, serving St. Louis and Central Missouri every day. Highway 67 North, Farmington.
Well, this Farmington defense playing 3 quarters of shutout ball. The last shutout for the Farmington defense, Luke, all the way back in 2011. It was week 9 against Perryville. Be nice to see a shutout tonight, wouldn't it?
It would. These guys are pumped up, and you can tell Braden Krause, like I said, after that last field goal, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he kicks it into the track again.
Thanks for joining us on KTJJ Farmington, KREI Farmington, and KJFF Festus Crystal City. Braden Krause approaches the kickoff. He slams this one sky high and backs the return man up into the end zone. And it's been a touchback every single time for Braden Krause. He has kicked the ball outstanding tonight. Touchbacks all the time and 2 for 2 from the field goal spot. He's a definite weapon for this team.
I was just going to say the same thing, Chad, and really all season long he's been a weapon on this special teams, being able to basically you don't even have to have a kickoff team coverage when you get those touchbacks.
Luke, that was a big drive. ProCare Automotive bringing us our big drive. ProCare Automotive in Bonne Terre.
Oh, it sure was, Chad. And I tell you what, probably the best drive for Farmington offensively is in terms of eating up the clock. Over 5.5 minutes eating up the clock there. 12 plays. They started on their own 11-yard line and didn't get the touchdown, but Braden Krause knocks in the big field goal from 27 out. And 3 more points. It's 13-0 Farmington.
Got some points. Now, the quarterback now is Zane Faust for Poplar Bluff. And Cameron Meisner, a little bit better passer than Zane Faust, but a much better runner. The playbook has certainly shrunk since Cameron Meisner was forced to leave with injuries, but they didn't score with him in the game either. So this Knights defense has done a good job all around. And now Faust wants to pass the football. He throws it over the middle, and this one is complete. That's a good pass by Faust, and it's his first completion of the game, and it's good for a 25-yard gain.
That was a good-looking ball, and that was to the other guy that's played quarterback tonight.
Joe Garland.
Joe Garland.
That's a good pass by Faust. We've seen him throw a couple of balls that, quite honestly, were not impressive throws. And Darlin is in there as a wide receiver. B. Wynn, the running back. They hand it off to B. This play blocked well, but there's our guy, Cameron Haynes, once again. Sheds the blocker, steps up, lays the wood, and makes the play. Cameron Haynes has really been one of the great players for this team. He's a 5'9", 143-pound junior, and he can play ball.
He is, and he's a difference maker. And like you said, anytime a cornerback leads your team in tackles, that's an impressive stat.
And Coach Kruby talked about how really they played good responsibility football last week, stringing it out, and then Haynes just did what his job was, is filling it on the outside to make those plays. So 2nd and 9, just a 1-yard gain for Wynn right there. Wynn's going to test the left tackle spot this time. He gets a little line surge, but not a lot. And Brendan Ferris makes the tackle after the 3-yard pickup. Wynn with 16 carries and 86 yards. Last year, Wynn had 24 carries and 141 yards. So I would say a much better job. Now, Poplar Bluff lost a lot of linemen off of last year's team, too. That's the spot where they've really had to replace more than anywhere else. 3rd and 5 for Poplar Bluff. Line of scrimmage is the Farmington 49-yard line. And a motion man is Francisco. But a quick flag before the play develops. And once again, Poplar Bluff has cost themselves an illegal substitution, I believe. And this will scoop Poplar Bluff back 5 yards where they'll have a 3rd and 10.
Well, Chad, we've talked, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, if it's your backup, your 1st or 4th string guy. There's been a lot of penalties for Poplar Bluff tonight, and it came all the way down from the 1st stringers to even the guys playing now.
So now a 3rd and 10. Maybe they would have felt comfortable with B. Wynn running it on a 3rd and 5, but now this turns this into more of a passing down and a sidearm sling that time. The pass is complete, but it's only complete for about 3 yards as once again the secondary is in the right spot, allowed the completion, but closed out on the tackle quickly. Chris Smith right there on the stick. So they gave him huge forward progress. He was hit and then ran backward, and they gave him the progress that was way out in front. I do not like that call. It ends up being a 6-yard gain. So it brings up a 4th and 3. And now you've got Francisco on the jet sweep. He is caught in the backfield, and he is pounded down at midfield. The Farmington Knight defense comes up again on 4th down. It's a loss of 4 yards. Now there's a flag on the play. A lot of times this is where you'll get that hold. It's a holding call against Poplar Bluff. And Luke, is this the 4th time the Knights have stopped him on downs?
Oh, I tell you what, that was impressive. And they even tried to take Cameron Haynes out of the play by splitting out the wide receiver almost. He had a 30-yard split from the formation, but it didn't matter.
If the Knights can use this good field position, Luke, and I know we've got a lot of time left, but if the Knights can use this good field position and put points on the board, you've got to feel great about their chances here tonight.
You do it. Like you said, I've played a relatively, in all aspects of the game, they played pretty solid football tonight. Yeah. Maybe would have liked to see it a little bit more offensively, but, you want to finish it off now. And
A few drops by the wide receivers, but Busenbark has over 200 yards passing. Bond has 40 yards rushing, and so it's an improvement. And now they'll go with the two running backs, Duncan and Bond. They hand it off to Bond. Oh, no. Well, Busenbark pulled the ball, which was a good thing because Bond was going to get tackled for about a 5-yard loss by Nick Joachim. So Busenbark keeps it, and he's able to at least get back to the line of scrimmage there.
I tell you what, those linebackers are still, they're anticipating that snap count and just blowing up that backfield. I'd really like to see a screen pass to maybe take some of that heat off.
Bond would be a good one to throw it to, too.
Oh, yeah.
He's a slippery guy in the open field. 8:57 and counting down here in this fourth quarter. A 13-0 lead for the Farmington Knights. Duncan and Bond, the two running backs out there again. Twins to the right, one man off to the left side. Bond gets it. He's got a little hole. Bond now to the 40. He's out in front of the defense to the 30, to the 20, to the 10. Braden Bond, they will not catch him. Braden Bond, a 50-yard touchdown run for Farmington.
Well, there was a flag there in that holding box you like to talk about. Oof.
Oh, mercy, Luke.
Second one tonight. Too, called back for him. Keep
Braden
getting this
Bond,
right.
his best play of the year. I guess if you hold people, it's going to open that hole up a little bit more, but gosh darn it.
Boy, it showed some breakaway speed, high stepping it at the end to avoid some tackles.
Ugh.
That would have been huge.
Okay, so that's a 10-yard penalty, but really it's a 60-yard penalty and a 7-point penalty. Brings up 2nd and 19.
And that defensive aggressiveness was there on that play too, and that's why he was so wide open.
Well, it's not going to be easy. And now a flip pass. Oh, mercy. A flip pass out to the right side. Braden Krause was wide open. He had room in front of him, and he dropped it on the ground. That is the 5th drop of the game. Now, when we say drops, folks, when we chart those aren't plays where you're diving for the ball, okay? Those are plays that hit you in the hand. You should catch the ball. That's the 5th drop of the game. And you got to give Busenbark some help. He's throwing the ball really well.
Oh, yeah.
And that was part of the reason Krause moved up to first team, is because the guys in front of him were dropping the ball. So Busenbark's back in the gun, 3rd and 19 here. Busenbark has guys all over him, and now he's dropped for an 8-yard loss. So a 50-yard touchdown nullified on a hold, and it turns into a 4th down and 28 for the Knights.
Loss of 9 brings up 4th down and 28.
And just over a minute of game clock really went off the clock, so he didn't do much in that respect either, of trying to burn a little bit of clock.
Well, you thought with the good field position, if Farmington could push it down there a little bit, even just get a field goal. But the offense moves backward. Big play there was the drop.
Yeah.
Because that's not the defense causing you to do anything. That's just you not executing. So here's Ferris to boot her away, and there's Denzel Britton a half a mile down the field once again. As Farmington snaps it for the punt, they call a timeout. 7:42 remaining in the 4th. 13-0. Farmington leads. This one's a ways from over, though, and we'll tell you more about it after this 30-second pause on Regional Radio.
ProCare Automotive Repair in Bonne Terre specializes in domestic and foreign auto repair and maintenance, including diesel repair and a full line of diesel maintenance services. Restore your diesel truck's performance with their fuel injection and air induction cleaning services. And if you drive a 6-liter Ford, they can clean the intake and EGR system with their specialized BG tool, possibly saving you thousands of dollars in future repair costs. Clean out the carbon and restore the performance of your diesel or gas engine today. ProCare Automotive Repair, 358-1112 or procareforyourcar.com.
Well, Luke, Farmington would have had 50 more yards rushing if not for a holding call. As it stands after the sack of Busenbark, these Knights with only 25 yards rushing on the night. However, Busenbark has been very good. He has over 200 yards passing plus 5 drops. That's going to be another 30, 40, 50 yards.
Yeah, when you look at his completion percentage, you should know that it should have been considerably higher.
So here's Ferris to punt it away. He's got his heels on his own 16-yard line. And we could use you flipping the field here. He gets a little air under this one. Britton doesn't come up to grab it, though, and then it actually takes a Poplar Bluff hop Going to be Mules football at their 37-yard line. 7:34 remaining in our ball game. Farmington leads 13-0. Let's thank some sponsors. Grand Oaks Heating and Cooling in Leadington. Omega Makes It Personal in Farmington. Booze and Bark Flooring in Farmington. And Larry Heisel Reynolds in Caledonia. Well, we saw Zane Faust complete one pass the last time, but he doesn't look to be an accomplished passer. B. Wynn has 86 yards rushing, so he is on track for a 100-yard night. And Faust flips this one over the middle to nobody. It was a skinny slant route by Ross Russian, and Faust probably threw it 6 feet over his head.
He did, just overshot that one.
So Faust is he has completed 2 passes, I beg your pardon. He's 2 for 6 for 31 yards. So a 2nd and 10. If you can get deep in this game, Luke, and force Poplar Bluff into passing downs, that would play certainly into Farmington's hands. B. Wynn, the running back here, though. I bet they go to him right here. Nope, they don't. It's Faust swinging it to the left side to Francisco, and Francisco's tackled by Duncan. Even when these receivers have caught the ball, Luke, the defenders are in the right spot, and they're not getting yards after the catch.
Minimal yardage, Chad, and I tell you what, the defensive game plan has just been great.
Now, on the other side, when Farmington has been able to complete those routes over at the sideline, they're using bunch formations and 3 wide receivers. They're picking up some blocks and gaining yards after the catch.
They sure are.
There is a man down for the Knights, and it is Logan Dodson. One of the good performers for this team. In fact, Dodson might have the play of the game so far. That interception he had was just terrific.
That was a beauty.
Logan's down on the field here. Let's take 30 seconds and step aside. 7:16 remaining in the 4th. 13-0. Farmington on top. 3rd and 6 coming up for Poplar Bluff. We'll do that in 30 seconds on Regional Radio.
Kerry Buckley Towing and Recovery in Park Hills at 431-2117 or 756-4563 offers 24-hour towing and wrecker service. Kerry Buckley and his employees pride themselves on providing quick and reliable towing, winching, lockouts, jump starts, and roadside service for cars and trucks, as well as towing and wreck recovery for tractor trailers. From big to small, Kerry Buckley Towing and Recovery does it all. Call 431-2117 or 756-4563 for dependable 24-hour service from Kerry Buckley Towing.
Poplar Bluff on a 3rd and 5. Quarterback is in big trouble, and Farmington comes up with a big sack. And that's the guy that's been new to the lineup, Luke. Chase Montgomery got in there along with Jacob Cluck, and another big stop by this Farmington Knights defense.
Making a huge play there, and you were just talking about how didn't know anything about this guy, and then tonight, man, he just made himself heard.
He has played a terrific game, and that tackle position is in good shape for these Farmington Knights. Has Poplar Bluff going to go for it on 4th down? Farmington rushes to get lined up. Here's Faust, the quarterback. He's back in the gun. Wants to run an option play to the right side. He's got his pitch man and B. Wynn. Now B's going to get a 1st down, but there's another penalty on this play, and it's another penalty that is in that tackle box. It was a gain of 14 yards by B. Wynn, and guess what? That one gets erased again.
It sure does, and Poplar Bluff's going to get tired of watching that one. This game is going to be a little bit painful with all these penalties, all these great plays getting called back.
I have a feeling that Mark Bruce is not going to make it a pleasant film session for these guys. 6:25, and the clock becoming more of an ally of Farmington all the time now. 6:25 remaining in the 4th. A 13-0 lead for these Knights, and a 15-yard gain and a 1st down on 4th down nullified for Poplar Bluff.
Boy, me win, man. This kid's got some heart. I tell you what, he's been running hard all game, hasn't he?
He has 16 carries for him and 86 yards. It's going to be a 4th and 15 now for Poplar Bluff. And they almost really have to go for it here. And if Farmington can stop them, Luke, and get a 1st down, they'd be in Braden Krause territory again.
Yeah, right now they're just looking to, Poplar Bluff's just looking to break a big play and make something happen.
There's Joe Darlin in there in a wide receiver position once again. And Faust likes to look for him. And now he's going to throw it over the middle. Farmington jumps the route. Braden Bond arrives right on time, and the pass falls incomplete. This Knights defense has stopped them again, and this time the Farmington Knights have spectacular field position.
They sure do. And
The fifth time they've stopped them on downs
yeah,
tonight.
turnover on downs, and you can't say enough about the way this defense has played tonight.
I don't know if this is like a no-hitter and we're supposed to not talk about it, but this is a shutout.
We were talking about it before the opening
That's
kickoff,
right.
so we can talk about it now.
This is a shutout, and this is looking good for the Farmington Knights defense. The Knights now can milk some clock as well. It's Duncan and Bond in the backfield along with Busenbark. And even though it's been tough running in this game, you want to milk some clock as well. And Bond's right in the middle of that line, and he's thrown down for no gain once again.
These officials just aren't ready to go home.
They are not.
They are throwing. See more flags in this fourth quarter than we did all game.
Well, this is like the last possession where we said, well, we just gained a little bit of yardage and we'll be in cross field goal position again. Except that we're moving backwards again. It's another holding penalty against the Knights. And, well, now they've pushed themselves out of cross field goal position again. Boy, I wonder, I know you want to milk clock, but I wonder if you don't try to throw the ball a little bit here. I mean, that's really the only thing that's working for you.
Yeah, they've had most of their success has been those short intermediate routes. And they've tried the long ball a few times tonight.
So a 1st and 20 here. 5:55 remaining in the fourth quarter. And we're the only game in town tonight on regional radio. Our other games got postponed. So Busenbark has two running backs in the backfield with him. Twins to the right side. He's got one wide receiver off to the left. Busenbark hands it off to Bond, and Bond is just smothered as he reaches the line of scrimmage. I feel kind of bad for Braden Bond. Every time he gets to the line of scrimmage, there are like 3 burgundy jerseys right there to meet him. There's Nick Joachim, that middle linebacker. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, sure has. The one time they weren't there and he went 50 yards for a touchdown and got called back.
Yeah. On a hold. So no gain again. We're looking at a 2nd and 20. But the clock continues to move. That's the good news for Farmington. 5 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in our fourth quarter. One wide to the left side. It's Tyler Finch. And Twins off to the right side. Duncan and Bond, the two running backs in the backfield. 2nd and 20. The handoff is to Bond. They try to get him wide to the right side, and there's another flag before the play even develops. Well, there are flags on both sides now. It's like they're flags without impunity now. In fact, both of these offenses just shooting themselves in the foot. The officials have not yet indicated what the call is. And now they'll face over here to the score box, and it's motion against the Farmington offense. But Poplar Bluff going to decline that. I think wisely so. Bond didn't gain any yards. In fact, he lost a yard. And it's a 3rd and 21. Well, you wouldn't say it was a thing of offensive beauty, but Farmington comes out of it here with a victory. It'll be pretty enough.
You'll take it. We'll take it.
You bet. Busenbark has Bond just to his right. And he's going to keep it now. Busenbark trying to push forward. And guess what, Luke? Another flag. Now, the bad news, too, for Farmington is every time they throw a flag, the clock stops, too. Knights want to keep that clock moving. Well, I don't know how much of an end zone show we're going to have tonight. Ryan will have the scores that are out there for us, but it sure sounded like a lot of games got delayed and or postponed. So Ryan will give us all the information that's available on the end zone show. And that penalty goes against Poplar Bluff. A 5-yarder, they jumped offside.
Wow.
10 penalties for Poplar Bluff, 75 yards. And the Knights now looking at a 3rd and 15. We'll broadcast a Valley Catholic ball game tomorrow on J98. 1:15 pregame show for you. 1:30 kickoff. It's number 1 ranked Valley against number 2 ranked West Strand. They're going to meet in the middle at St. Francis Borgia High School in Washington. 3rd and 15 for Farmington. 4:13 remaining in this fourth quarter, and a 13-0 lead for the Knights. It's going to be another keeper by Busenbark. He pushes forward for 2 yards, and it's pretty obvious right now. Farmington just wants to keep this clock moving. And a timeout now by Poplar Bluff. 4:08 remaining in the fourth. 13-0. Farmington on top. Poplar Bluff has taken a timeout, and we'll be back with a 4th and 15 for Farmington coming up in 1 minute right here on Regional Radio.
Moyer's Muffler and Auto in Park Hills is family owned and operated. So just like family, they know your dollar counts. So when you need good, honest work at a good, honest price, see Moyer's Muffler and Auto. Not only for mufflers, but inspections, oil changes, brakes, complete exhaust, new tires, AC work, and now you can take your vehicle to Moyer's Muffler and Auto for all of its alignment needs. That's Moyer's Muffler and Auto, 502 East Main Street in Park Hills, 431-5428.
Neighbor, hey, I noticed the new landscaping around your yard. Looks pretty nice.
Thanks, we're doing some home improvements. And we did it all with Potosi Lumber.
Really?
We replaced cabinets, added new carpets, put in storm doors, customized replacement windows, and a lot more.
It's time for fall home improvements. See Potosi Lumber, Highway 21 in Potosi.
A 4th and 15 for Farmington. They've got it at the Poplar Bluff 38-yard line. It's going to be Brendan Ferris on to try to pin this Poplar Bluff team deep. So Farmington to punt, and Ferris punts this one into the end zone, and it's a touchback. We saw this last week, Luke. Ferris, just tap it, man. Just tap it. That's what you're trying to do, is pin him deep here. I actually think that was probably, as far as he's punted, when he tries to punt it hard, he doesn't hit it clean. When he gets a little off, he hits it clean.
Yeah, he nailed that one.
Well, the Fredericktown at Potosi game going to be played at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Jefferson at Herculaneum has been postponed as well. That was our KJF game tonight. We've had a nice night here in Poplar Bluff. Nicer yet that the Farmington Knights lead 13-0. Here's Zane Faust, the quarterback. He hands it off to B. Wynn, and B. Wynn has just swallowed whole as he tried to get to the middle of the line. There's Chase Montgomery again, Luke, and we haven't seen much of Chase Montgomery over the first 2 weeks of the season, but he's been big here in week number 3 against Poplar Bluff.
This kid making the most of his opportunity tonight.
So let's snap it back to Faust once again. He's looking down the field. It's going to be a flag route, and Farmington's coverage is perfect once again. That's Braden Bond right in the back pocket of his man. In fact, I think Bond ran the route better than the wide receiver rushing.
He did, yeah.
So 3rd down for Poplar Bluff. Some of the Poplar Bluff faithful, not quite as faithful anymore.
Not quite so faithful. But
it's a team that averaged 32.5 points over the first two games, Luke.
That's some impressive wins over Fox and Dexter.
Yeah. So a 3rd and 8. B-Win the single setback. Faust the quarterback. Faust is in trouble, and I mean big trouble, and he's sacked in the backfield. That's Jacob Cluck. Jacob Cluck all over him that time. And a loss of 6 yards for Faust. Some nice folks that said we can hang up our radio sign right where they were sitting. Gonna head out now. Then Poplar Bluff says, you know what? 4th and 13. We're on our own 17-yard line. Maybe we'll punt this one. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And Francisco going to boot it away. Probably smart at this point in the game just for the Farmington return men to move away. Takes a sideways roll, and the Knights will have it at the 50-yard line. Farmington is 2 minutes and 44 seconds away from snapping a 6-game losing streak in the conference. They are 2 minutes and 44 seconds away from acquiring a winning record for the first time in 2 years. And they are 2 minutes and 44 seconds away from pitching a shutout since 2011. Those are some big milestones to be met by this ball club.
Putting a winning streak together.
And putting a winning streak together, that's right. So here's Busenbark, hands it off to Bond. Bond drifting over to that right tackle or left tackle position, and as he tried to make his way up the field, I bet Nick Joachim has about 335 tackles tonight. That guy is everywhere. 6'1", 185 pounds. He's in the middle of everything on that defense. And another flag on the play as well. Are you kidding me? Another hold?
Wow.
Guys, keep your hands in, okay?
It was a hard-fought game. I mean, relatively clean game, until this fourth quarter has been some penalty flags. But
I've got to say, hats off to the Poplar Bluff run defense. Their run defense has been stout, very stout. Farmington has kind of gotten away from the passing game here in the fourth quarter in preference to running clock. Good strategy, but when Farmington concentrated on that passing game, they were pretty sharp.
yeah, I sometimes you think they may be a little too conservative. I know they're trying to eat clock now, but
Here's Bond. He's leveled in the backfield once again. He's got another 1 yard loss on that play, and that was Josh Lewis pounding him down on the ground. And a timeout now here by Poplar Bluff. Bond with 15 carries tonight and 37 yards. Bond had a 50-yard run earlier, Luke, but it was nullified by a penalty. And it's been tough running for him this year. He gained over 500 yards last year, but he just hasn't found many spaces so far this year. 2:22 remaining here in this ball game, a 13-0 lead for Farmington. And we'd like to thank Home Pools and Spa in Leadington, Parkland Health Mart Pharmacies in Deloge, Matt Stroud Excavating and Hauling in Farmington, and Innovative Warehousing and Distributing, also in Farmington. Farmington really getting it from all three levels of the defense. The coverage has been superb by the secondary. The defensive line has created pressure, and then the backers have done a terrific job of stringing those running plays out to the side.
yes, they have, and really just a nice all-around game by the Farmington Knights tonight.
Poplar Bluff has one timeout left. 2:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Farmington has not shown the willingness to pass the ball really all in this fourth quarter. They feel great about their defensive play and just want to melt the clock. It's a 2nd and 25, and Braden Bond gets it again. Breaks a couple of tackles that time. Even when he gains 8 yards right there, he had to break 5 tackles to do it. So the 16th carry for Braden tonight. He's got 45 yards rushing. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 17 for the Knights. So we said Poplar Bluff with one timeout remaining, and Farmington going to run that clock all the way down here with 1 minute and 50 seconds left to play in our ball game. Boy, a win tonight would have been spectacular, but a shutout, that's so impressive. Busenbark back in the gun, hands it off to Bond, and Bond is dumped in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. And that's Stephen Haley once again wrapping him up in the backfield.
Well, I think one of the things that we talk about a lot, Chad, especially in the pregame show, is consistency. And I think we got that from the defense tonight. We got a nice, consistent, great effort. Offensively, I think you're still looking, we've seen some great plays from those receivers, and you keep thinking, oh, man, finally they're starting to click a little bit. And there's still some big drops, and they got a big opponent next week in Jackson. Woo. Number 2 right now in Class 5A.
Yeah.
Wow. So those drop balls aren't going to cut it. If you got, and we know that there's some potential out there. You got some playmakers out there because we've seen them make the plays. But just going to have to clean up those mistakes if you want to compete with some big teams.
But if you're putting check marks tonight, defense check in all phases of the defense. Special teams check. The punting hasn't been spectacular, but good. No mess-ups there. 2 field goals, and every kickoff by Braden Krause has been a touchback. So, as you said, the drops by the wide receivers, and then just really no running room. But more check marks on the good side this week, though.
Oh, absolutely. And, the offense did what they had to do, and, just the one interception there by Busenbark, not turning the ball over was huge. but
Here's Ferris on the punt. They're going to come after him with 10 guys. And Ferris boots this one deep. Denzel Britton grabs it at his own 23-yard line, and he's got the sideline right here. I think there's a block in the back as Britton's going to return this thing the whole way. Ferris can't track him down. And Denzel Britton comes 81 yards on the punt return for a touchdown. But I don't think this one's going to stand, Luke.
You can go over there and ask Braden Bond how that feels.
Yep. Farmington already had a touchdown called back on a holding penalty. And Poplar Bluff, who has not scored all night, has this touchdown, an 81-yard punt return for a touchdown called back by Denzel Britton. Well, they finally had some success, Luke, and they did it to themselves again. That was about a 90-yard penalty.
Oof. Boy, and I tell you what, if that play had stood, that Poplar Bluff's right back.
Onside kick in one play. That's right.
Can't take anything for granted right now.
But instead, Poplar Bluff will be forced into a long field. It was a spot foul. It occurred at the 31, so Poplar Bluff going to take hold of the ball at the 21-yard line. And Farmington Knights fans saying, thank goodness for that one.
Oof.
Well, for Poplar Bluff, what you're saying, let's see if Zane Faust can complete a few balls here and work us down the field. Faust back in the gun. He's got B. Wynn standing just to his right. Faust is under pressure. Now the second guy gets there. First guy flushed him from the pocket. Second guy brought him down. And that was Jacob Cluck again. And there's Nicholson. And there's Ferris. The usual suspects.
The usual suspect.
Yeah.
And there's been a bunch of them tonight.
Yeah, there has. A loss of 3 for Faust right there. So Faust back in the gun. He's going to hand it off to B. Wynn right here. Not a lot of room to run for B. Wynn. He's bouncing around, though. He does manage just a few yards. So hard to see the numbers of those Farmington Knights on these road jerseys, but that was Cluck again with the tackle on a gain of 4 yards for B. Wynn. B. Wynn has 92 yards rushing, and if Farmington can play a good down right here, they'll hold him under 100 for the night. 12 seconds remaining. Faust passes it over the middle, and it's incomplete. And the clock stops with 8.2 seconds left. So Poplar Bluff kind of suffering some of the dropsies too, as that hit rushing right in the hands. Now, Faust hasn't been the most accurate passer, but he threw that one right on the button to rush it,
that
and he
was
just
on the
dropped
money.
it. Yeah.
Rushing. Yeah, he took about 6 steps before he realized he dropped it and looked down at his hands and just shaking his head.
So 4th down now for Poplar Bluff, a 4th and 9. And the officials calling for a timeout. Actually, it looks like Farmington has called for a timeout. They don't want anything to screw up here on 4th and 9, I imagine.
4th and 9, 8 seconds left.
8.2 seconds on the 4th quarter clock. I'd like to thank Cozine Memorial Chapel in Farmington and Cartridge World, also in Farmington. And we'll remind you that we are going to broadcast another high school football game tomorrow on J98 as the number 1 ranked and defending state champion Valley Catholic Warriors face off against the West Strand Hornets. Should be a good game. West Strand ranked number 2 in the state. I think this is the 3rd time they've met at St. Francis Borgia. It's kind of a nice cross-state rivalry. They met in the championship game a few years back as well. Valley won that one in overtime. So a couple of really good teams. 4th and 9. It might be the last play of the game. Farmington leads 13-0 in this defense, looking to pitch a shutout for the first time since 2011. Faust is back in the gun. He's got 2 wide receivers to each side. And he looks over to his left, flips it out there. Pass was incomplete and nearly intercepted. And Farmington will get the ball back, Luke. And we'll see our favorite formation coming up.
Well, I tell you what, these players they're jacked up now, and I tell you what, they deserve it. This was a hard fought. This is a good win. 2 weeks in a row, they get to celebrate. Couldn't be happier for these
Gotta
kids.
feel so good for these guys. Snapped a 9-game losing streak last week. They get the conference victory. Snapping a 6-game losing streak in conference. And they do it really in style on the defensive end with the shutout. Terrific job by these Knights. And we'll see victory formation here with Brant Busenbark behind center. Braden Bond going to play about 9 yards off the ball. And we'll see a kneel down and a victory for the Farmington Knights to move them to 2-1 on the season. So Busenbark actually comes under center for the first time tonight. And the Farmington Knights a winner at Poplar Bluff, 13-0. The Mules beat Farmington last year 35-7. But a sweet, sweet comeback victory for the Knights here tonight.